Nyaho! Hi, 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 hi. Nyaho, everybody! Nyaho, Heka, you get the first cast! Heka!
Notices Lyra.
Oh, notices Leora. Heka! Mwah. Wow, as I was kissing Heka, I noticed Leora. Oops, the drama. The drama! Nyaho, Heka, Nyaho, Leora, thank you for watering the fish and watering the chat. Chat, get watered or else. Nyaho, Big E! Nyaho, Leora. Nyaho, Jaeger. Congrats on the streaky. Time for crusade for the God Emperor! For the Emperor! Also, Heka is calling out Sushi Bot. Sushi Bot, you have 24 hours to respond. Sushi Bot, your ass is on the line. Why are your notifs not as good as YouTube notifs? That's crazy work. Anyways, yeah. Today, we are going to learn about the Black Templars, which are one of your favorites. Nyaho, Adepticon is today. Adepticon is today. It's the first day of Adepticon. Nyaho, Hayden. Nyaho, Adepticon. While you guys are conning, we're gonna learn about the Black Templars. Since I started reacting to Warhammer, and I got a whole wave of new folks coming in, some of you more consistent guys have been like, I want to see you react to the Black Templars. I'm thinking in particular Syrah, but it is like morning o'clock in Australia. But don't act like I'm not listening. I'm listening and I'm learning and I'm writing things down. And whatever you are interested in, I want to know too. You know what I'm interested in. And I like when you guys share what you're passionate about. So yeah, I've heard you. I am not responsible for those nut jobs. Biggie does not claim you, but I might claim you. I will put up a poll for next week, but yeah, I decided to take it into my own hands and react to the Black Templars. Also, I know that specifically Syrah wanted me to watch this and wanted me to watch Baldemort's video, but I kind of got confused because I think there are two Baldemort videos. There's one about the lore, and then there's one about the Emperor's Champions. So, I don't know if I need to watch both, or I can just watch the one that I have linked below. Because I think Baldemort, in the video that I have linked below, also adds in their own headcanon, which is kind of cool. I've never seen that before. It's the first time I'm reacting to them. Like I've said before, I like to just peruse the different creators and how they share lore and how they explain things and see what my brain thinks of. Emperor's Champion is a chosen combatant. Oh, so I need to watch just the Black Templars first and then the Emperor's Champion. Ah, thank you, Jaeger. Okay, guys, this is gonna be an even longer freaking stream. Buckle up. Yeah, baby. Those guys are absolute lunatics. Even TTS Dorn agrees. We're gonna see what Daddy Rogal Daddy Dorn is gonna say about them. Blood Angels are the best. Blood Angels are on my list. My wife loves a Blood Angel. Salamander's on my list. I have a long list. There's so many guys. For the right price, I'll react to that 20-hour Remembrancer video. Yeah. But yeah, let's get into it without further ado. Today is the day that Riri arrives, so we gotta get moving along so we can learn and then we can be ready to receive our wife. Riri love, Riri. Yeah. And kinda love, and kinda love. You need the context of the Black Templars before knowing the Emperor's Champion. Heard, heard, heard. Heard. Okay, so we're gonna start with that one actually, and I'll edit the YouTube caption later. Good thing I already have the video up. What the hell? Wrong screen. Correct screen. Let me grow. Black Templars lore. That's the one. That's the one. Turn that BGM off. Nope, this is the wrong screen. This is the right screen. What the hell is going on with the background? Hit that like button, which means comment, like, subscribe. Hello. I lost my freaking brain. Okay, we're good. Okay, so this is Baldemort's Black Templars lore. Then we'll go into the Emperor's Champion, and then we'll round it out with Krakduk. Krakduk just speaks to my brain, you know? Okay. Volume all the way up. I have my gain on. I'll watch the rest later. I need to go to sleep. Okay, good night. Like, comment, subscribe. And let's react. Also, you let me know something, because I've been seeing a lot of different comments on YouTube of some of you being like, literally someone verbatim. Literally somebody verbatim commented and was like, girl, less talk in the chat and more reaction. And I was like, commenter, thanks. I know a lot of you guys like watching these, like watching the VOD and everything, and it's a little bit awkies to respond when you're not in chat, but also I'm not going to ignore you guys who are here. I appreciate those of you who are here and those of you who are watching later. So yeah, you can pretend you're typing in the chat by adding little comments. Uncle Balder! Is he bald? We'll know now. Maybe we won't. Oh, he's bald. Confirmed. Wug.
So, you wish to know of us. You wish to know what drives us. What makes us who we are. What makes us different.
Whose POV is this? Him?
Astartes. I can tell you this very simply. It is in our faith. It is in our vows. There are four, and they are thus. Suffer not the unclean to live. Uphold the honor of the emperor. Abhor the witch. Destroy the witch. Accept any challenge, no matter the odds. So we all have sworn.
Oh,
so
those are their 4 rules.
Do. For none have ever.
Those are their 4
broken
rules. Go back. Write that down.
The odds. So we all have sworn.
Oh, shoot.
Suffer not. I can tell you this very simply.
Write it down.
It is in our faith. It is in our vows. There are 4.
4.
They are thus.
Number 1.
Suffer not the unclean to live.
Suffer not the unclean to live.
Uphold the honor of the emperor.
Uphold the honor of the emperor. Suffer not the unclean to live. Uphold the power of the emperor.
Abhor the witch. Destroy the witch.
Abhor the witch. Destroy the witch.
Accept any challenge, no matter the odds.
Accept any challenge, no matter the odds. Those are our 4 things for the Black Templars. Nyaho Timo. Okay? Stay clean, stay loyal, stay humble. F that witch. Never back down for a challenge, never say what. What was that last one? Serve the Emperor. Done. Hello? Write that shit down. Write that down. Nyaho Calio.
So we all have sworn, so we all do. For none have ever broken these oaths in 10,000 years of our eternal crusade, and none ever will. For we are the right hand of the God Emperor. We are his purest sons.
Purest?
We are his punishment. We are his vengeance.
See, I want to be someone's purest son, someone's punishment, and someone's vengeance. So basically, take a shower, pray to God, F that hoe, and I forget the rest. And that's what the Black Templars are saying. Listen. Listen and learn.
We are the Black Templars.
Cute.
Welcome, gentle listener. I'm
That's
Baldemort,
me.
and I wish to introduce you to the factions and forces of the Warhammer 40k universe.
Nyaho
I pray you
Baldemort.
will forgive me for the vigor of this video, but it is now impossible to brook this subject without a modicum of reflected zeal.
Never
Do
apologize for your
also
vigor.
please bear in mind that this is an introduction only.
Okay.
I will release more entries on this chapter as I am able. At this point, I would like to mention that I have done some entries on Rogel Dawn, the primarch
Dawn
of
is
the
their dad.
Imperial Fists, from which the Black Templars are descended. If you have not seen it and do not know of the life of Rogel Dawn, it may be a good time to put this video on pause and check that out whilst painting or pottering. It would lend more context to that which we discussed today. Now, with the extensive throat clearing performed, let us get into the heart of the matter. Today, let us explore the history, legacy, and character of one of the most dangerous and fanatical of the forces at the Emperor's command. Let us explore the Black Templars.
Let us explore.
What is your life? My honor is my life. What is your fate? My duty is my fate. What is your fear? My fear is to fail.
Oh,
What is your reward? My salvation is my reward. What is your craft? My craft is death. What is your pledge? My pledge is eternal service. What is your duty? To serve the Emperor's will. What is the Emperor's will? That we fight and die. What is death? It is our duty.
Oh, we can just go back. And what is duty?
Of all of the chapters of the Adeptus Astartes,
And we're just gonna
the
keep
Space
going.
Marines, this is perhaps one of the only two successor chapters that have managed to outshine and become more popular with the fanbase than their originating legion. But it is not difficult to see why. For in all the galaxy there are few forces, Xenos, Imperial, or Chaos, that can liquidize the bowels of their enemy, so much as even the whispered mention of this glorious chapter. The Black Templars are the Emperor's wrath made manifest, but they do not rely.
I'm sorry, liquidize the bowels? Hello? You just gonna drop that so casually?
Oh my god, you're
Demo,
huge!
thank you for the 100 bits for the Emperor.
The Black Templars are the Emperor's wrath made manifest, but they do not rely on a curse of corn to do so, as the Blood Angels do. They do not rely on the forces of witchcraft and warp manipulation, as the Grey Knights are verily designed to do.
Okay, so we learned last time from the Grey Knights they use their psychers. Okay. And he's saying the Blood Angels also have their wrath, but the Black Templars don't have any of that. But they're still bad. Okay.
nor do they have a genetic predisposition to berserk rages or canine attributes, as the space wolves do.
Not like the
They
wolves.
rely
They're
on
not like other
will,
girls.
faith, and courage alone. The Black Templars are fanatics of a level that would impress, if not intimidate, even the Adeptus Sororitas.
Oh.
They are the clenched fist of the Emperor. They are the wide cold anger of their father, Rogel Dawn. They are the thing that Chaos worshippers fear. They are the burning brand, the righteous chainsaw, the blessed bolter. They are the men who purge all that is unclean. Woe to the mutant, the heretic, and most especially the traitor, should they be in the path of the eternal crusade of the Black Templars. For the Black Templars have never known lasting defeat. They have never bowed to pressure, and they have never simply obeyed orders, and knelt before Gulliman and his cursed treatise, the Codex Astartes. During the darkest of times, they have been the fire
the Black
that has given
Templars?
light to the righteous, and burnt the foes of the Holy
Oh shit, we're frozen.
Emperor and his Imperium.
Okay,
In their
hold on.
copious
Okay, so they don't care about Uncle Gilly. They don't care about the Codex. They said F the Codex. They said I'm not like other girlies. I'm not like other Astartes. They said I'm that fish. Heard. Nyaho Germa. Glad you're finally here, girly pop. The Black Templars have autistic rage? Oh. Okay. Slay?
burnt the foes of the Holy Emperor and his Imperium. In their copious annals of glory, they have almost single-handedly saved the Imperium from tyranny. They have never rested, and never repented the oaths their ancestors of the Blade swore 10,000 years ago. The Black Templars are vengeance manifest. They are purity, they are faith, and they are relentless. Now, gentle listener, let us explore why they are so different to their cousins and brothers of the other chapters.
Yeah, let's explore why. Okay.
For this, we must go back over 10,000 years. We must go back to the very beginning of the chapter.
Let's go back.
The darkest period in human history. We must revisit the horror of the Horus Heresy.
The
Only
Horusy!
by doing this can we begin to understand the depths of the drives that have propelled the chapter through the many millennia that have come after.
Take us to the Horusy.
We must go back to the very siege of terror, the scouring and the iron cage. We must steep ourselves in this history so we can understand the righteous rage that is within the souls of the Space Marines who wear the black and white of the Templars.
Let's get in there. Germa wants to go on the record to say that she says that Black Templar fans are the people she stays the furthest away from, okay? Germa, we're here to understand the Black Templars fans, okay? This is what they're passionate about. We're listening and we're learning. Sigismund was the goat, though. Okay. We'll learn about the goat. But now our Patreon.
So, let's begin.
Let's begin.
The Emperor of Mankind arose in a period that was hell. Humanity was almost removed from the galaxy, and its annihilation seemed inevitable.
Oh, important tidbit from Germa. Germa has yet to meet a woman who mains the Black Templars. Women, come forward. If you're a Black Templar main and a woman, comment down below for Germa. They don't have a great reputation. Okay, let's understand them. And then we can psychoanalyze them. We have to get context first. Woman, where you at? Woman? Sign in. Women sign in. What am I trying to say? Woman, Woman? Sign off. There, that's it. Woman, sign off.
The man who has only ever been called the Emperor or the Master of Mankind then arose to guide, lead, and save our entire race. He forged an army of super soldiers, genetically engineered human males of huge sizes, most being over 8 feet tall. All had multiple organs that were added to them over time, making them into true post-humans and the most lethal biological human force the galaxy had ever seen. These soldiers were called the Adeptus Astartes, the Emperor's Space Marines.
Space Marines!
Originally, there were 20 legions, each taken from the genetic template of a being more akin to a demigod than a man, beings called Primarchs. They were to be the generals of the Emperor's armies, a job they were not only forged to perform, but did so with aplomb. Each a titan on the battlefield, in the command tent, and in personal combat, with abilities as far beyond their genetic sons as the Marines were above standard humanity. With these crusading armies, led by their godlike fathers, the forces of humanity could not be stopped. They went out into the galaxy and conquered, liberated, and pacified the vast majority of the Milky Way. When final victory seemed in sight, the Emperor of Mankind left his most able son, Horus Lupercal, in charge of the end of the endeavor.
That Horus.
The Master of Mankind returned to Terra, what we now call Earth, and took up his most secret project. A trial so secret that he did not even inform his sons of his intentions or his labors.
That he didn't tell
goals
Angus.
Or expected results. It was a mistake
Magnus.
that would change
Who's Angus?
the course of human history
Hello?
forever. When the Emperor had left the Great Crusade, his sons, the Primarchs, fell to petty bickering, and the son he left in charge of his brothers, Horus Lupercal, fell to evil. He was seduced
Rip
by the
Horus.
dark powers of chaos, who are the enemy of the Emperor until his dying breath. And using the powers of chaos and his own knowledge of his brothers, their enmities and grudges, Horus in turn persuaded a full half of his brothers and their armies to declare for him also. The Horus heresy had begun. As the leader of the crusade, he managed to send all of the Primarchs he knew would be loyal to their father to the furthest reaches of the galaxy. He spread them thin, or led them into traps, so that they could be removed from the picture. When enough had been done, Horus Lupercal finally turned his cloth and declared himself in open rebellion, and attacked all of the facilities, colonies, and forces that would not forswear their loyalty to the Emperor and bend their knee to him. Rogel Dorn, the Primarch of the Imperial Fists, was one
Daddy
of the
Dorn.
few that were near Terra and would not surrender.
Let's
Rogel
go.
fought a war against his brothers, Horus, and all
Get in
of
there,
their
Dorny.
armies for the better part of a decade.
F 'em up.
But eventually, inexorably, they fought their way to the birthplace of humanity, the throne world of the Emperor, Terra. Rogel and two of his loyal brother Primarchs, Jagatai and Sanguinius, were all that were able to be present.
Dorn, Jagatai, Sanguinius rolled up to Terra. They were like, nah, Horsey, you ain't getting us, brother. We're not backing down. So they roll up. Okay, I'm following along. Listen.
To defend the Holy Palace on Terra against twice, if not thrice, their numbering Primarchs and their legions of Astartes.
Outnumbered by
Also,
3.
their adversaries had the
Times
corrupting
3.
powers of chaos on their side, and thus were able to summon hordes of demons from the darkest corners of the warp.
Disgusting.
Malign entities that were of vast power.
Blech.
Yet Rogel and his brothers held their line and slowed the armies of Horus. They never gave up and never surrendered.
Yeah.
They fought
never
for
give
every
up.
inch of ground, every system, every light year of
That's
space.
the Black Templars said.
The
Don't
cost
give up.
of the war was catastrophic.
Never back down.
You may ask what this has all got to do with the Black Templars. Well, let me explain,
Yeah.
gentle listener.
Uncle Baldemort, what does this have to do with the Black Templars?
Black Templars. Well, let me explain, gentle listener.
Thanks, Uncle Baldemort. Nyaho, quiero.
For Rogel Dorn was the father of the Imperial Fists.
Daddy
They were
Dorn.
taken from his genetic makeup and were of a similar temperament, mind, and steel as he.
Same
And it is
steel as
from
Daddy
these
Dorn.
Astartes, these Space Marines, that the Black Templars were taken. Now we must go into one particular nuance, another titan, another legend of the age of which we speak. It is the man, the Marine, called Sigismund. In the
Sigismund!
time of legend,
Goat
where the
mentioned.
Emperor and the Primarchs bestrode the galaxy like deities, where the ranks and numbers of the Space Marines were at their very zenith, and their deeds were worthy of epic poem bardic song, there was one who outshone all of his brothers and cousins.
Might go for real.
Sigismund. It is often said that with the exception of the Primarchs and the Emperor himself, there has
Raise your
never
hand
been
if
a
you
more
love him.
lethal and skilled human to grace the entire human race.
He was
During the
20
Great
when he
Crusade,
became a captain?
His name was hailed
That's how old you are, Germa. Crazy.
as the mightiest and a peerless jewel that adorned his legion. This was to be proven beyond any shadow of doubt when the heresy reached its crux moment during the Siege of Terror. Sigismund fought during the entire heresy for his legion, the 7th, the Imperial Fists. He was the first captain of the legion and its greatest light. When Rogel Dawn, Sanguinius and the Emperor left the palace by teleportarum to take the fight to Horus on the very bridge of his flagship, the Vengeful Spirit, Sigismund was one of those left behind. He was left behind to lead.
Oh,
He did so
They
from
trusted
the
him.
front.
ooh, from the front. They trusted him from
Sigismund
the
was
front.
granted the best armor and weaponry that could be gained, and then tasked to act as the Emperor's own champion. He was to represent the Emperor in the defense of the palace. As the champion, he was to locate and confront the leaders and heroes
He's
of
what the
defeating army
video's
of his
about.
brother Astartes, the traitors. In this function, he challenged over a score of Chaos champions, demons, and twisted marine officers. He dispatched them all in short order, nor did he do so with bolter or plasma gun trickery or traps. Every single last one of them was challenged, confronted, and defeated in personal combat.
Ooh.
Blade to blade.
Blade to
steel
blade.
To steel.
Steel to steel.
He brought all low with his courage, faith, and skill alone. His ability was only ever outshone by his conviction and faith. With these attributes combined in this role, he was unstoppable.
Sounds like
When
a
Horus
real
had
one to
been
me.
slain by the Emperor, which is a tragic tale I will explain on another day, the forces of chaos broke and fled. What followed was a war that saw all loyalist forces of the Imperium chase the traitors across the galaxy, inflicting defeat upon them. The traitors were hounded remorselessly into a tear in real space that led to the realms of the warp, called the Eye of Terror. This campaign was called the Scouring, and Sigismund was one of the loyalist warriors that was inflamed with zeal, ever in the vanguard of every battle fought by his legion. But it was never enough. Rogel Dawn and all of his sons, the Imperial Fists, would never forgive themselves for what they construed as their failing in allowing the Emperor to be crippled that day on the bridge of the Vengeful Spirit. Thus, their own self-loathing was enshrined within their breasts, and led to a cold rage that could never be satisfied, never be slacked or sated. When this was done, civil war loomed again, when Reboot Guilliman supplanted Rogue
Reboot!
as the head of the Loyalist armies, and dictated that the legions should be broken into lesser units of only 1,000 Astartes, called chapters. Rogel and his son, Sigismund, would not countenance this horror, this infamy. Rogel declared Guilliman a coward, but when naval forces began to engage Imperial Fist vessels because of their rebellion against the dictator Reboot Guilliman,
Reboot.
civil war loomed again.
Not a
Alas,
civil war,
Rogel had to decide
boys.
between compliance or another civil war. A civil war that the human race might not survive. Rogel Dawn knew his sons would never willingly comply, so purposefully he led them into a massacre arranged by their worst enemies,
Oh!
the Iron Warriors' traitor legion. The trap was
Daddy
called the Iron
Dawn!
Cage, a perfect maze of fortifications arranged for that one purpose only: the destruction of the Imperial Fists. Butchery was great, and only few Marines survived.
Oh
Rogel
my
sacrificed his very
goodness.
sons to the altar of Reboot Guilliman's Codex Astartes, his writ, his new order.
Oh.
With only enough Marines left,
So do Black Templars not like the blueberries because of this? Because their daddies fought? Also, I don't know, Daddy Dorn, you could have done... I don't know. Maybe there was a third option here. I don't know. Hey, I wasn't there. What do I know? But leading them to massacre... Like, I don't know, maybe, hey, guys, we gotta break up the band, but we're still the same band. You'll just be sub-units, right? We're still the Iron Fist, but I don't know, you guys can be the Iron Thumbs, the Iron Pointers, the Iron Middle Fingers, the Iron Ring Fingers, and the Iron Pinkies. Like, hello? Boom. They could have got on board. That's the first I've heard of this. Oh, okay, cool. Gilliman, when he first met the new leader of the Fist, was like, you remind me so much of Sigismund. And the Templar was like, honor me by saying that. And Bobby G was like, that was not a compliment. Oh. He hates their ass. Oh, well.
To form very few chapters, so great had been the toll taken by the Iron Cage.
The
there
Iron
were not
Cage.
enough Marines left for any form of rebellion. Thus, Rogel achieved his goal, the aversion of a second civil war, for his men were broken.
No.
All but one. Sigismund.
Can't break
the
him.
remnants of the Imperial Fist Legion were broken into chapters of 1,000 men, but only few. One, the Imperial Fists, were made up of Rogel Dawn's veterans. The Crimson Fists were made up of the youngest and most hopeful sons.
Okay, different colored
There
fists.
were others, but records differ, for it has been over 10,000 years since this event, and they will gain their own entries in the future.
They didn't like my pinky idea, but they did different colored fists. We'll take it.
The last chapter to be formed was to be made up out of the most zealous, the most fanatical, the most aggressive of all of the sons of Rogel. There could never be any doubt who
The Iron
would lead this
Pinkies.
chapter. It was Sigismund.
Hey, the Iron Pinkies would have gone hard.
My tabard, the white of sun-bleached bone, offers a stark contrast to the blacker than black plate beneath. The heraldic cross stands proud on my chest, where Astartes of lesser chapters wear the Emperor's Aquila. We do not wear his symbol. We are his symbol.
Oh, T.
Reclusiac Grimaldus of the Hell's Reach Crusade. Sigismund showed lip service to the Codex Astartes for a period, but was driven by a fire that few could even conceive, let alone match, and his plans and pathways soon permitted him more leeway. For Sigismund forged his chapter now, he alone. He was unfettered by convention and precedent, and no longer had his melancholy and stern father to gainsay him in any decision. Thus Sigismund forged a weapon that reflected his own character, his own drive. Thus was the fire of zeal lit, a fire that has
Fire
never
of
dimmed
zeal.
in all the long millennia of the Imperium. Thus were the Black Templars formed. When they were forged, Sigismund reinstated his vows as champion of the Emperor, and then expanded on them. Thus were the 4 great vows of the Black Templars taken by the entire chapter, and have been retaken by every leader, officer, or initiate of the Templars ever since. Abhor the witch.
Abhor the bitch.
Smite now the scions of the witch.
Smite the signs of the
Grant us
witch.
the strength to pierce their unclean flesh,
Let us
to
have them up.
cover their fields with the pale forms of their blasphemous dead, to drown the thunder of guns with the shrieks of their dying, to
Damn.
lay waste to their citadels with hurricanes of fire, to
Damn.
wring the hearts of their kin with unavailing grief, to send them into the wastes of their desolate lands, in rags and hunger, broken in spirit, worn with travail, and begging for the refuge of the grave. We ask it in the spirit of wrath.
Okay, damn. I see. The Black Templars are going crazy with it. Gilliman doesn't hate them, he hates what they become. The original Black Templar were zealous but reasonable. 40k Templars are all zeal, and I see that in this little blurb. I stand corrected, that was indeed Dorn's intention when walking into the Iron Warrior's trap. Well, thanks, Daddy Dorn. Who's texting me? Don't. Hello?
O master of mankind, Black Templars vow. Abhor the witch. Destroy the witch.
F the witch.
Lead us from death to victory. From falsehood to truth. Lead us from despair to
Follow
hope.
the truth.
From faith to slaughter.
Find
Lead
hope.
us to his strength and an eternity of war. Let his wrath fill our hearts. Death, war, and blood. In vengeance, serve the Emperor and the name of Dawn. Suffer not the unclean to live. Prayer and vow of the Black Templars. Trust in the Emperor at the hour of battle. Trust him to intercede and protect his warriors true as they deal death on alien soil. Turn their seas to red with the blood of their slain. Crush their hopes, their dreams, and turn their songs into cries of lamentation. Uphold the honor of the Emperor. Vow of the Black Templars. O Emperor, in wrath rejoicing at bloody wars, fierce and untamed, whose mighty power doth make the strongest walls from their foundations shake. All-conquering master of mankind, be pleased with this war's tumultuous roar. Delight in swords and fists red with alien blood and the dire ruins of savage battle. Rejoice in furious challenge and avenging strife, whose works with woe embitter human life. Accept any challenge, no matter the odds. Prayer and vow of the Black Templars. With these vows in place, the Templars are very unlike any of their brothers and cousins in other chapters of Space Marines. They do use heavy weapons and ordnance, as they are not idiots, but the use of devastation squads is far.
Wait. This whole video, Uncle Baldemort's just like telling me a bedtime story from Middle Earth, and then all of a sudden he's like, yeah, duh, they use these weapons. They're not idiots. Pay attention, stupid. I freaking love him. The Iron Cage was penance for not stopping Biggie from dying. Okay, that's a lot of penance. Okay, I see that they're loyal. These hoes is loyal. I miss when all Warhammer fans were cringy and like nerds. Hey, you guys never back down from being cringy nerds. Okay.
As they are not idiots.
They're not
but
idiots,
the use of
dumbass.
devastation squads is far more limited. They are in fact a rarity due to the vows, due to the second vow. But sometimes even the Templars need to use heavy weapons to clear away particular foes. As stated, they are fanatics, but they are not idiots.
They're not
Another main
idiots.
difference in their organisation and deployment on the field of battle is how they intake and train their forces. The vast majority of Astartes chapters follow the Codex Astartes, the Tome of Tactics and Organisation written by Reboot Gilliman, Primarch of the Ultramarines. In said treatise, the Astartes are directed to take Marines into their scout companies at first. These companies are grounds for training and for gaining experience before the younger Marine joins the battle line proper. When scout training has concluded, they are then funneled into tactical squads, who are armed mostly with bolters, but are capable of meeting most threats.
Because they're not stupid.
They are the backbone of a chapter, as these squads do contain a heavy weapon and specialist equipment, but only few, so the unit has incredible tactical flexibility. Marines will then progress to more specialised roles in either close assault units or heavy weapons units. From there, they progress to the first company and become one of the veterans of the chapter, if they are deemed worthy, by dint of their heroism and skill in decades of combat.
Oh.
This regimen and pathway is utterly ignored by the Black Templars.
Oh.
There is much to be said for the way that the Templars train their Marines.
Vibes.
For a reason I will go into in a moment. Templar candidates who are recruited from worlds they pass on their unending crusades are, as with other chapters, put through incredibly grueling testing. But from there, the similarity ends. For Black Templars are not placed in scout companies. The Templars do not own such things. They believed that training and the acquisition of the metal needed to be counted amongst the number of the Black Templars comes only from direct field experience and the fires and fury of battle. So when a candidate becomes an Astartes, their biological changes and enhancements complete. They become a neophyte. Every neophyte is then taken on as a futuristic squire to a more experienced Templar, known as an initiate. These initiates are actually fully paid up members of the Templars. They will personally train the neophyte in all aspects of war. They will take them into battle at their side and give them the most harsh and brutal initiation into the life of a frontline Templar, charging into the midst of the heart of the enemy in their very first sally. Thus do Templars gain on-the-spot training and a baptism of fire that sees a tragically high number of them left scattering battlefields across the galaxy in their hundreds and thousands. The death toll in the Black Templars is excruciating compared to the statistics of others. But those Templars who are finally deemed to have worth and shown true faith, tenacity, fury and ability are then some of the most rugged and able of all Space Marines. Thus, the tactical squad does not exist for the Black Templars. They call these squads, made up of experienced initiates and their neophyte squires, crusade units.
Crusade units?
Nor are they regimented and organised into pretty orders of battle that other adherents to the Codex Astartes must arrange. For in the Black Templars, one fights at the side of those one wishes to fight at the side of.
Oh.
And this can change.
Okay.
These Crusader units are not forced or created by some bureaucratic rule. No. They are formed by colleagues of like-minded Astartes merely organising themselves into units to meet threats. In this way, the Black Templars are far more flexible and amazingly driven. They see a threat and meet the challenge, any challenge, head-on. They do not have a designated sergeant in charge of a Crusader unit, as they are all of one mind and one purpose. They are simply not needed.
Okay, that's chaotic.
These seemingly small differences to their brothers of chapters who follow the Codex Astartes can cause issues when they are deployed amongst larger campaigns.
Yeah.
So the Black Templars attempt to make sure that they are in such force and such numbers that collaboration is simply not required. Although they will never refuse a call for assistance from a brother chapter, they will do so on their own terms, and will not yield command or control to those who follow what they consider the dogmatic and inflexible structures, tactics and strategies employed by the Codex Astartes. Simply put, the Black Templars fight their way, or not at all.
My way or the highway?
To the second oath. There is much less emphasis placed on the training and accuracy with a bolt gun or rifle that is usually one of the defining factors of an Imperial Fist successor chapter. For the Black Templars, the oaths are living, breathing things and may never, ever be avoided, even if this would mean they lose an encounter. Thus, the emphasis of training and combat ability is almost exclusively funneled into peerless ability with close combat weaponry. Only the Blood Angels in the midst of a Black Rage, or the Sons of Leman Russ, the Space Wolves, could hope to come close to the close quarters potentials of a Black Templar.
As far as the Sons of Dorn go, they're
one thing. When an initiate is deemed to have served with colossal honour, then they are permitted to join the Order of Sword Brethren, the Codex equivalent of the Veteran. From there, should they...
Wait, get this, the eightfold star can be drawn inside their cross at an angle? What do you mean? Hello?
The Codex equivalent of the Veteran. From there, should they survive decades or even centuries of close combat with the most vile and unspeakable creatures in the galaxy, or from the warp, can they be promoted to leadership? But this is always dead man's shoes, as with other chapters. The most significant difference in the Templars and their peers are twofold. One, they do not have a home planet or planets that they defend and from which they draw their aspirants, those who would be Space Marines. The Black Templars robustly recruit from every last world they cleanse, save or pass. Their need for new warriors is a hunger that cannot be satisfied, as their war is never ending. 2. The Black Templars are the only chapter or organization that have kept the fires of the original crusade alight. For the Black Templars have taken oaths that they will never tire, they will never stop, they will never relent until the entire Milky Way galaxy is free from the taint of the Xenos, the mutant, the witch, and the traitor. Thus they live and breathe, move and die aboard vast crusade fleets.
Okay, you know what makes the Black Templars different from everybody else? 1, they have no home, and 2, they have no chill. Heard. Listened to.
The crusade for them never ended. The Black Templars also used this practice to flagrantly ignore the limits on the number of Astartes, of Space Marines, that can be kept under the one banner, the one chapter. It is said that the only one person in all of the Imperium who knows how many Templars there are is the High Marshal of the Black Templars. No others.
No one else
It
knows
is true
how
that
many
the
there
attrition
are.
rate among the chapters is eye-watering, but their intake is organized to more than make up for this rate. More than. Hence it is suspected by many that the Black Templars, if gathered in one place, could potentially equate to the numbers that could only be described as a full legion. It is known that inquisitors or nosy bureaucrats of the administratum who take too close an interest in the requisition of materials, those who attempt to truly discern the numbers of the Templars, are often likely to have lethal accidents. The Templars do not tolerate any interference in their activity. None whatsoever, for they see their mandate as coming from the Emperor himself, and bow to none but he. But a full muster of the entire Black Templars has never, and probably never will, happen. For the Black Templar Crusade fleets are in most parts of the galaxy, bringing the fire of wrath and the light of purity to all regions that they deem to require them, which is all regions. For the heretic, the witch, the Xenos, and the traitor know no shame and respect no boundaries. So thus the endless crusade must follow them and root them out wherever they rear their foul heads. Many a disagreement has occurred betwixt the Templars and the local lords of a region, but the Templars do not ever care to take any heed. For if
And
the
they
local lords
simply
had
don't
been doing
care.
their job, as the Emperor has decreed, then their presence would not be required. Thus, if their presence is required, then the local lord, chapter, or militarum are beneath contempt, for they have failed.
They
When a
failed.
region is pacified, the crusade will then go on. But they also can leave training camps on planets at their discretion. If this happens, then the initiates will take their neophytes into combat as before, but locally. This usually only occurs when a region has been cleansed, but the Templars know that it will not remain so. For evil is always obstinate, and never knows when it is beaten. Thus, there are centers of Templars across the galaxy, as well as the main strength of the various crusading fleets. One can only wonder exactly how many of them there are. What dire need, what terrible threat might be required for the High Marshal to give the clarion call to resound so fiercely across the entire galaxy that he would recall every last one to a muster. The thought alone is terrifying. So we get onto one of the most important elements of the Black Templars: faith. In the long years of the original Great Crusade, there was a simple truth to which all of humanity was to be illuminated. What the Emperor demanded be promulgated: the Imperial Truth. The Imperial Truth was very simple, but will require full entry in the future to cover its nuances. For the now, you only need to know its basics. The Imperial Truth stated that there were no gods, that religion itself was one of the greatest enemies of humanity, and any religion was a lie. There were no spirits, there was no afterlife, and there was
remember
no
this.
God. Most chapters of the Adeptus Astartes still adhere to the Imperial truth, but this is not so of the Black Templars. The Templars have replaced the Imperial truth with one of their own, and
New
many
truth.
of their peers sneer at this change. The Templars are of the ardent belief that the Emperor of mankind is, in fact, the god of humanity.
Oh.
This is no hyperbole, no
No
lip service,
wonder
and no
Robute
whimsy.
hates their
They
booty.
believe this with every fibre of their being. Any aspirant who does not allow this faith to infuse every aspect of their mind, heart, and soul will be rejected, no matter how adept or how much potential they may have in any or all other disciplines of war, no matter how they could be a shining light to adorn the chapter. If they cannot take the faith of their Emperor's godhead into them, then they will be rejected. The faith of the Black Templars is terrifying to all. They are holy warriors and take the name of their campaigns, crusades, quite literally. They are warriors who have been charged by their god, the Emperor, to strike down his enemies. They believe that he watches them at all times, as he is omniscient. They believe that he has the power to intervene, as he is omnipotent, as any good god should be. But he does not do so, as they are his champions.
No free
Each Black
ride.
Templar believes that every action, every deed, every moment, they represent the god Emperor of mankind. This religious fervour has built them into a force that is nigh on unstoppable. Where others would perform a tactical withdrawal, where others would seek to regroup and redeploy to better confront a superior foe, the Black Templars not only stand firm, they push forward. I have stated before that the casualty rate amongst the chapter is unprecedented, for this is one of the reasons why. Their drive to face enemies blade on blade, no matter any disparity of size or power, is one factor, but their unquenchable zeal is the other. They do not run. They do not cower behind walls or parapets. They do not allow for long sieges or protracted bombardments of placements. They charge. One might say this is foolhardy at the very minimum, but it has been their way for over 10,000 years and will never change. They do not throw lives away, gentle listener, but they just construe any challenge whatsoever as one to be met head-on, and can be goaded or led into traps with comparative ease. Those who do manage to lead the bully of the chapter into a trap often find that they have woefully underestimated the mettle of their victims. The amount of times that a Black Templar force has made a trap into a massacre is uncountable. For those thinking that they have trapped the Black Templars often find that they are the ones caught in a slaughterhouse as the dauntless fanatics tear through their number like a hot breeze through corn. Anyone wishing to attempt to trap the
Hot breeze through corn? What kind of saying is that? Wait, corn the god? Or corn the vegetable? Neither of them makes sense to me. Oh, it's British. Oh. AJ, explain! Hot breeze through corn. What? Oh, hold on, I have a phone call.
Black Templars had better be prepared for the fight of their lives, for usually it is their last. The fanaticism of the Templars to their faith has other effects. Although once, long ago, they are recorded to have had psykers amongst their number, this is no longer true, and has not been for some time. Definitely a tale for another time, though. Ever since, they have not only been without psyker support, they have actively refused to fight alongside any force that contains what they consider a witch. There is only one exception to this rule. One, the Grey Knights. As the Grey Knights are the direct progeny of the Emperor, their genesis is the genome of the Emperor himself, not a Primarch. They are deemed to be the only psykers that the Black Templars will tolerate on the same field of combat as they. The zeal of the Black Templars is such that over time it is proved to seep into their very weapons and equipment of war, as mad as that may seem. There are reports that the very machine spirits of some Land Raider Crusaders, huge battle tanks with troop transport capacity, has been affected by the constant exposure to the Black Templars, so much so that it has infected them. More than one report of a vehicle's machine spirit impatience for the fray has led to them being discovered in the camp of an enemy, the vehicle itself going forward and exterminating everything in an enemy camp while the Black Templars were at prayer before the fray. Although other chapters or organisations would look in horror at this form of independence of action and activity, the Templars laud the vehicle for its righteous anger, its wish to serve the Emperor more directly. Also, it is a sign of their power and faith that despite having no psychic ability whatsoever, the Templars can disrupt the powers of the warp that may assail them. Their faith in the Emperor is quite literally a shield from the powers of corrupting bodies and the bolts and blasts of the witch alike. They are not immune to the mightiest of psychers, but the untrained or weak, or distracted or overconfident, has often sneered at a Black Templar and extended their hand to electrocute or annihilate them, only to find their vaunted powers fizzle as the knight rams a blade through their chest. Truly, for the Black Templars, the Emperor protects. Black Templars are, however, so zealous that they can leave a bloody wake. For no psyker, mutant, abhuman, or suspected traitor will ever be left to infect the Imperium as a whole. The wiping out of all life from a planet can be a regular punishment decreed by the Templars. One could not count the millions of humans that have been slain by the Templars in their cause, but one must always remember their history and their goal to understand how such seeming callousness can be done in the name of the Emperor. For the Black Templars, they will never forget the Horus Heresy, nor the events of Old Night. They know that to sacrifice even the population of a world of billions must be weighed against the survival of the entire Imperium and trillions. They have witnessed personally and regularly how the machinations of just one powerful cycle or demon can drag an entire sector and hundreds of worlds into a hell. Better to prune the rose bush and have it healthy than to allow a rot, any rot, to spread. With the stakes so high, the Black Templars will never shy away from any task, no matter how brutal, no matter how terrible it is to perform. For they are the hand of the Emperor. They are his champions, at least in their minds. Also, the Oaths remove any and all chance of working with alien races, what the Imperium calls Xenos, no matter how common cause may be in play. It is with stunned confusion and rage that many an Eldar army has expected the forces of humanity to join them in a raging battle against chaos, only to find that the Black Templars will charge both. It is at this point that I must conclude my introduction to the Black Templars. To go further would take us down a veritable plethora of extensive rabbit holes. But rest assured, gentle listener, I shall revisit this topic in further entries in the near future. I have been Baldemort, your faithful servant. If you have enjoyed my introduction to the Black Templars, please consider liking and subscribing. If so, then please do remember to press the notifications button. I would not wish you to miss out. Also, if you are a regular gentle listener, then do please consider supporting us on Patreon. Now, no matter
Okay. Sorry, we finished the end of the video on mute because I had a phone call. Because, guys, remember when I had bad news before because I didn't get an internship? I got an internship! Yay, 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 yay! You didn't hear my... Don't worry! We're watching the next video in Baldemort's... Sorry, I tried to, like, signal that without saying words. Talking about the Emperor's Champion, going more into the Black Templars. Okay, so... yeah, from the first video, we got the breakdown of the lore. I wasn't here for the first time. Woo! Yay! We got a breakdown of the lore. I did not react to the Blood Angels. They're on the list. The Blood Angels and the Salamanders are on the list. Riri loves Sanguinius and the Blood Angels, so I can react to my wife's husband, I guess. And I feel like I'm gonna like the Salamanders because I like the Lamenters and they kind of have similar vibes, so I've heard. Yeah. Yippee! Yeah. Sorry, guys. She was supposed to call me like 3 hours ago. But whatever. Okay, so now we're going into a little bit more about the Black Templars. Last Legion is the White Guards. You know, I've actually never heard you talk about your favorite, Germa. This is great. We're going to talk about the Emperor's Champion. We're going to talk about the Black Templars a little bit more. And that should round out my thoughts. And then I will give you my reaction. Plus, we're going to watch Krakduk. We're going to love Krakduk. Okay? And I don't have any more phone calls. So you're not going to be able to stop hearing my ass.
Crusader Squads and Thaddeus and Tarquinius playlist. The Emperor's Champion. Story continued from Crusader Squads and Thaddeus and Tarquinius playlist.
What story?
I am his sword. I am his honor. I am his revenge. On the dawn before our battle, I awoke, but stayed in a dreamlike state. For my very soul was afire, my mind the receptacle of his might, his vision. He has chosen me to be his vessel. He shows me the images of the deeds I must perform, the foes he has chosen for me to bring low. My eyes dart from one vision to the next, the dizzying kaleidoscopic vista of futures.
I don't like the blinking. Have you seen the Hell's Reach YouTube movie? I don't believe so.
All is in flames. All is sin and degradation. And so he sends me. But he points the way. He shines his light into the darkness and the depths of the souls of these wretches. He shows me who I must defeat in his name. For on this day, I am his sword. I am his honor.
Oh, it's always blinking?
I am his revenge.
Okay.
I
Kinda
am
giving me
the
a headache.
Emperor's champion.
1 hour, 20 minutes, fully voice animated movie. Oh, should we watch that? Wait, what is happening? Welcome to Baldemort's Guide. We gotta level up. I think the last video was 6 years ago, and this one is 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Oh, well, whatever. Best 40k movie ever. We should react to it. Heard. Let's do that. Write that down,
Launched
guys.
from the depths of our ship, our cathedral of the void, our battle barge, we hurtle through the skies. 10 of us locked into the walls of a cylindrical missile, a drop pod, each an Astartes.
I love his voice.
Our power armor black, anointed, holy. A gift from our grandfather, a second skin of ceramite we can feel as well as the first. Our black carapace permits this. Many wear power armor, not all even human, but it is only we, his angels of death, that feel it like it is our own body. We who harness its full power. Our ship fires down a spread of shot to soften the area, is how they will feel or construe it, if they have but one tactically gifted mind amongst them. This may be true of other chapters, other sons of other lineages. Not so for the sons of Sigismund, the never-ending crusade. For us, the fire is to drive the foe toward our landing site. Our drop pods will destroy more on our arrival, but it also means that they will be herded in around us. There will not need to be a headlong initial charge against a wall of guns many times the bodies we have. No time for them to bring up their heavier weaponry. No distance for them to take aim and swallow their fear and pull a trigger. No delay. We will be amongst them from the instant our doors come down, and when we are amongst them, they cannot use their firepower. Hence we will thresh them, mow them down before the dual fire of our faith and our hatred. Our chainswords are chained to our arms, for the neophytes and initiates. The sword brethren here has his power sword thus locked. All are stood stock still while we plough through the skies downward, ever downward. I am the odd man out. I am not in their crusade squad, compromising 2 drop pods full of Astartes. But this is the only place open, and it is right and proper that I will be the first out of the door, the first to engage the enemy. Fire starts to whip past us, but little. My stomach slams into my throat as the thrusters fire at the very last second, sending massive plumes of fire and thrust at the ground. It makes our impact slightly less jarring, but it would still shatter every bone in the body of any normal mortal. After 2 swift successive chimes, the doors are blown off, leaving us 5 doorways to exit. I'm the first to disengage their holding anchors, the first to the door, the first to leap out. The other benefit of the thruster fire is that there is a blast zone around us of some 10 paces. Scores of burning and blasted forms lay there, a cull of the foes from our advent alone. My mind does not even register the charred stench so akin to swine on a spit.
Ew.
I'm amongst them before the first has even drawn his weapon fully out. They are packed around us, as was intended, and I begin my charge through them. My paces are swift but measured, my stance perfected over 100 battles. I see all before me, to the side of me, and snatch glimpses while performing my dance. Instinctively, without conscious thought, my mind maps the next 3 strikes encounters. The man I will kill, the way his body will fall, how it will open me to the high stance attack of the next, but how I can block and then run him through and onto another that is directly behind him. The foe are rabble, slime, only human. They are malnourished, but insane, poorly armed with makeshift melee weapons, but filled with the power of their dark masters. The claws of chaos dug into their souls as much as their clearly corrupted bodies. They will not break easily. I continue my march of doom, slaying all who come before me. My brothers are behind me, but not with me.
Am I crazy or is he pink? Oh! What did I do? Go back to the pink man. He's pink!
Mine.
I was like, it's just the shadows. No, he's pink, right? Wait. I like him. He's pink. I like him.
Me to the high stance attack of the next, but how I can block and then run him through and onto another.
Well, we were over
doom,
here.
Slaying all who come before me. My brothers are behind me, but not with me. I'm not in their squad. I'm the Emperor's champion.
Oh.
My role is separate. I lead by example. My targets require I range the field as I wish, as the Emperor commands it, where he leads. But for now, I see the initiates leading their neophytes into the encircling cultists just behind my wake. The other pod landed a split second behind ours, more landing all over the drop zone, as per the plan of attack. The Crusader squad started with 19 members, each a pair of master and squire, and the sword brethren who leads them, of course. Not that the men need leading. We know what we must do. The 2 score of us clear the enemy in less than 2 minutes, never stopping, never ceasing, never showing mercy, never showing doubt.
The Angels
Even
of Agony
the
are pink?
neophytes take at least 2 score each before we are done, and they finally stop rushing our lines. The last of them turning and charging back to the central hab block, no doubt telling themselves that they go to warn their masters. Instead of that, they run from justice. They run from the ire of the Emperor. The landing ground is secure ahead of schedule. As I wait for the Storm Raven to come down, I note that we have lost 3 neophytes. 2 slain in melee. The last I see beheaded by a sneering, cold-eyed initiate.
So now there's only
the neophyte
16.
had frozen. He had then whimpered. Sometimes we get one. I'm never sure how, but sometimes we do. Nonetheless, he is gone.
Oh,
I hear
hippies.
sounds of battle all around me. Streaks of missiles and darts of laser light flash across the skies from building to building. The Storm Raven comes in. It swoops down and then hovers for half a minute only before it is gone. Out of the ramp drops the 2 Inquisitors and their entourages. Saulat Brackus and his force are first. Saulat is tiny, entirely covered by his
He's tiny.
Sloth.
He's
The
little.
towering Ogrim with slab shield. His Crusader Knight stands to his other side, shield held high, as is Sloth's. Behind them are Sororitas and a Ministorum priest with his chainsword already revving. Ordo Hereticus. We have fought alongside them many times. He has a good nose for the heretic, the traitor, the witch. He leads us to them. The other group seem less comedic. Ordo Malleus, the demon hunters. An older man jumps out, their Inquisitor. He is special, some say. One of an elect group within the Orders. But I ignore rumour, and thus have no real knowledge of them. Nor do I care. As long as they are here to destroy the enemies of the Emperor, I am content. He has an older Marine with him. I can see it in his reactions. But what is this? His black painted armour covers the white that was clearly once on his shoulder. The chain from his sword to his arm. This Inquisitor has a black Templar with him. Or a pretender. I know not which. A younger bald man, eyes bright, darting from one place to another in quick succession. He looks handy for a human. He stands with his lord like a wolf, about to be unleashed. Mechanicus priest is with him, and what looks very much like an assassin. Bodysuit, intricate and rare weaponry. It can be none other. The boy with the eyes is slapped over his bald pate by his lord, like a child being cuffed to get out of a parent's way. It is the sneer that covers the face that makes me think that this is not an avuncular gesture. The Inquisitor seems peevish, but dauntless. His armour is old, power armour though it may be. Old, and of a design I've never seen before. Heh. The benefit of a status as a special or elect Inquisitor of some sort. No matter. As soon as they land, our Crusader squads form around them, and we push forward. Before us is a tangled web of hab blocks with walkways betwixt them. Every smashed window and eye socket from which a cultist could lurk. Literally hundreds of vantage points from which to shoot down. It may prove to be a trial to get to a central area, where we need to be, where we need to strike. Land speeders cross the sky, laying waste to concentrations of defenders, bringing down entire levels of blocks with fire. The bouncing forms of the assault marines and our new primaris inceptors move at our flanks, heading off heavier resistance to clear our way. We set off. The bounding leap of the marine is not possible while we have these inquisitorial gangs in our number. Tedious, but necessary. The Crusader squad takes up a perimeter around them as we move forward. Occasional knots of cultists spring out at us from alleyways, first floor walkways, doors, windows. We hack our way forward. These scum are not even a speed bump to the sons of Sigismund and Rogel Dawn. Our heavy armour is impossible to bring into the confines of this conurbation, but that would make it too easy anyway. We approach the main square, and then my sight becomes a thing of two worlds. I can see the real world as it is, but also there are lights and shimmering hazes. The Emperor shows me the way. He indicates my target. And there, at the base of the stairs to their main building, the real threat shows itself. For at the base of the wide stairs leading up to
I didn't like that transition.
there are ranks of orderly, organized and disciplined troops. Our first real resistance. Armored and with power weapons, they must form some elite for this rabble. They're uniformed, but twisted. Their shields locked together. If I did not know better, I would say that their attire and weaponry was akin to that of a crusader with Saulat. But their genesis is unimportant. The line troops are not my concern. It is their lord.
Our checkerboard something significant? I know the Lamentators have some. I've seen some orcs with them, and now this guy has them. What do the checkerboards mean besides being super alt and cool and edgy? Do I learn that in this video? Have you guys watched this one?
He is standing at the top of the stairs, his armor blazing with flames. Twisted lava forms runes around him that drop liquid fire like promethium on the ground. He has a plethora of them around him, buzzing like bees. He is bright enough already, but to my sight, he shines like a star, but one I can look directly into without discomfort or wincing. He is one of my targets this day. Initiates charge forward, their neophytes in tow, but we have done this before. I've been a part of what we call, in our crusade, the stairway to the throne. I see that they are prepared. The three initiates run in a line some paces separated, sheathing their swords for a second to indicate compliance with my intent. I bellow to let them know I am coming.
I really want to build some Space Marines
then
now.
launch myself up, stepping on one, then another of my brothers as I hunch down and rise with my foot, elevating me further.
I don't like
the
that
last
tradition.
one turns and stops, cradling his mighty hands together as I bound towards them. My foot lands in the cradle and he pushes up and out, so I am launched clear of the line of guards. I land on the stairs, but 3 paces below their leader, when I hear the Crusader squad make contact with a wall of shields. The Chaos Warrior smiles at me, a toothy grin with too many teeth, that then slips as the lava runes around him are simply blown away.
A toothy grin
literally.
with too many teeth.
A wind that comes from the second inquisitorial group. They talk.
Orcs use chest patterns because the Luna Wolves were unbeatable at one point. They used to be white, then became black. Oh. So it's like their manifesting thing. Got it.
Or down his defenses, so I can do the rest. His axe comes down at me as he tries to retain the high ground. I easily move aside, angling the black blade in my hand so that his strike is deflected, but its momentum is not stopped. His axe goes into the marble stairs and he is overbalanced. It is child's play for me to twist and sever his head from his shoulders. A scream of 1,000 voices echoes around the square as we are all blown sideways, backwards, down, by the explosion of his body. I am caught in the fireball, but nothing of this evil will pass through my armor. For this is no normal power armor I wear today. As the Emperor's champion, I am honored to wear the armor of faith.
Oh.
Ancient, powerful, thrice blessed by the God Emperor. And while I wear it, I shall fear no evil penetrating my guard. Not unless they be the mightiest of adversaries.
Does it get thrice
And
blessed by the
Lord
Emperor?
is hardly that. The explosion and the effort of my brethren has cut down many of the enemy at the base of the stairs, but many get to their feet near as fast as my brethren, so they form up swiftly. Saulot Brachus points and chirrups out his order to Sloth. The huge Ogrin barrels into the line and brings it down. Their interlocked shields, previously a thing of strength, now their greatest weakness. As the initial 3, he strikes drag down a half dozen. The young trainee of the other Inquisitor is way ahead of the others, and darts through a gap in the line. He moves amongst the rear of the enemies and stabs into the legs or back of any armoured men still standing. He may not be large, but he is swift and intelligent. The slightest assault from the rear is all that is required for my brothers to take them from the front. Their formation broken a second time. The heretics are torn to pieces by the Astartes. But oh, what is this? As the Inquisitors and their warriors make directly for the same walkway as me, Saulot's men, his slab shield Ogrin and his Crusader Knight forming up at the front just behind me, the rest in their shadow, I hear them. Thaddeus, do we have time? No, the ritual is nearing its conclusion. It's got to be now, or we face the wrath of the warp. Keep up, boy. But Master, the glyphs on the walls. We're walking into a fulcrum. We should be more cautious. Oh, really? You think you know better than I? Holy Throne, I question my decision every day. But you are proving even more dim-witted than I feared. We have no time for dalliance, boy. Keep your eyes on the prize, and keep up. Sloth, Sebastian, double time. I hear this and can see the coronas of power. My targets are before me. I run. They will keep up or they won't. I care not. My calling is too
They
great.
will keep up or they won't.
I pick up more speed when I come to the last
The
corridor and see the
sass.
large doors so obviously barred. The Emperor's own glamour shines from the edges of the doors, its hinges, its tops, its bottoms. Wherever there is but a millimeter open, I am invited to my destiny.
Oh.
Welcome, gentle listener. I'm Baldemort, your faithful servant, and I wish to introduce you to the forces, factions, and important units of the Warhammer 40k universe.
Hi, Uncle
The grim
Baldemort.
darkness of the far future, where there is no time for peace, there is only time for war. As a note, gentle listener, please do always remember that my little tales at the start and throughout many of an entry are merely flavour pieces written by myself to help
What?
ease you into the imagery and fun of Warhammer. They are
He wrote that? What the heck? I thought I was listening to a freaking audiobook. Uncle Baldy's got freaking skills. He does that? That's so cool. I was like waiting for him to reference what book he was talking about. I was also getting confused. I was like, wait. What book is this? I was like literally on my... That's why you saw me like pop up another screen. I was going literally to the video on another screen to look through this and be like, am I reading something wrong? He is an audiobook. That's so cool. I was so drawn in. I was like, how can I react? This is just the story. Bruh. I should listen to these when I'm crafting. No wonder he said that on his last video. Oh my goobus. Okay. So the manhwa guy killed him, killed the sword. He just did that. What the frick? I love this. Okay. Continue.
merely fan fiction, and by no means canon or ever intended to be so.
No, that's
For that,
canon to
you
me.
will read or hear the official works of the Black Library, the writing wing of Games Workshop itself. And I can assure you, if you like my own ham-fisted attempts at tales, you're in for an almost limitless treat. For their
Yay!
books and audio dramas are expansive and often exquisite.
I love limitless trees.
Now, that all said, let us continue. For today, as promised, we shall be looking at one of the most interesting of the special units that are unique to the Space Marine chapter, the Black Templars. Although some other chapters now imitate the Black Templars in their use of this very special position, it is truly a Black Templar that personifies the title best. For it harkens all of the way back to the man who formed the Black Templars. That redoubtable warrior whose name
Sigismund!
still strikes fear into the hearts of traitor Astartes, the legendary Sigismund himself. And thus, we shall be discussing the Emperor's Champion. And so, as usual, for the very basics, let us lean on existing wisdom.
Yes.
Almost all chapters of the Space Marines have had an Emperor's Champion of their own at one time or another, especially during the period following the Horus Heresy, known as the Great Scouring. The practice is much less common in the 41st or 42nd millennium. However, the position of Emperor's Champion has played an important role within the ranks of the zealous Black Templars chapter, since the chapter's inception as a successor of the Imperial Fists, and has been maintained with reverence and high esteem throughout nearly 10,000 years or more of endless crusades and ceaseless conflict. In battle, it is the duty of designated Emperor's Champion to seek out and challenge the commander of the enemy force, fighting him or her in single combat
1v1.
for the glory of the Emperor.
The Emperor's
Many
Champion
great
1v1's their
battles and wars
boss.
have been turned in favor of the Imperium by the slaying of enemy leaders or other key figures in a foe's chain of command.
It's just
by
that
an Emperor's
easy.
Champion. Always at the forefront of the Black Templars' battle line strides a single figure, his gleaming blade carving a path of ruin through the foe. This warrior will challenge any enemy, no matter how mighty, for he is the Emperor's Champion, and divinity rests upon his shoulders as both mantle and shroud. On the eve of battle, as the Black Templars kneel before their chaplains and pray for the Emperor's favour, one amongst them may be granted a vision. In his mind's eye, angelic hosts wielding blades of fire bestride the stars, driving back the writhing shadows with their righteous fury. Glorious battles of both past and future whirl through the battle brother's mind, accompanied by the certainty that he has been chosen by the Emperor as his mortal vessel upon the field of battle. As this fugue state passes, the Space Marine knows that he must heed.
Wait, that was cute. He's talking about a fugue state, and he said a fugu state. Me when I'm in a fugu state. That's cute. That's cute. So fugu is Japanese for what is it? Pufferfish? But fugue is a mental health kind of state. Usually it's meant to describe being in like dissociative, like a temporary dissociative state. Some people can say it's like a temporary psychiatric condition. So you're disoriented, you kind of have amnesia about yourself. Memory loss, all of that. Fugue state. But he said fugu state. And honestly, I'm gonna use fugu state more than fugue state because sometimes I'm feeling like I'm in a pufferfish kind of state, you know what I mean? I also love how in his such nice calming voice, he's just like, in your fugu state. Anyways, slip in the mental health stuff into here. Continue.
As this fugu state passes.
It's so cute. I'm not making fun of him. I just think it's so cute. If it's pronounced like that in like the UK, that'd be super fun. Let me know. It's spelled F-U-G-U-E. Fugue. I only know American English, okay? Couldn't tell you. But I love that. I love that. Yeah, totally.
The Space Marine knows that he must heed the summons and stand forevermore apart, bereft of his brothers in the searing light of the Emperor's gaze. The chaplains then lead the chosen battle brother to an isolated contemplation chamber. Here, he is clad in holy raiment, donning the armor of faith, and surrendering his weapons in favor of one of the chapter's 10 sacred black swords. Only a handful of Emperor's champions arise each century, their emergence a miracle worthy of remembrance, and at any given time there can be only one in the chapter. It is, therefore, the duty of the chaplains to ensure that a single black sword accompanies each crusade with its inception, ready should an Emperor's champion arise. Should this happen, the name of the blade's new wielder is inscribed into its obsidian hilt, immortalizing a new hero as a part of the blade's own legend. When battle is joined, divine might throws through the sinew of the Emperor's champion. His vision shimmers with golden light that burns bright around the mightiest of enemies. In this way, the Emperor's champion is guided through the press, swatting lesser enemies aside as he closes upon his target.
Literally that fish.
Leaving his brethren to fight the broader battle, the Emperor's champion engages the most deadly foes in single combat. The Emperor's champion will never concede defeat, for his duty does not end until the black sword is pried from his cold, dead hands. At the conclusion of the Horus Heresy, during the Siege of Terra, first Captain Sigismund of the Imperial Fist Legion was chosen to serve as the Emperor's champion.
Sigismund!
Personally singled out by Rogel Dorn himself, Sigismund was bestowed with the high honor of serving as the personal champion of the Emperor.
Chosen by Daddy Dorn himself.
He was disturbed by only one thing. It seemed wrong to him to obscure the sacred colors of his legion. The Imperial Fist Reclusiarch, who bestowed the sacred blessings upon his armor and war gear, told Sigismund to fear not, for Dorn himself had ordered it to be so. Sigismund's heraldry had been changed to black to show that he served the Emperor directly.
Ooh,
as did the Reclusiarch.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Didn't Daddy Dorn he was like, nah, they're not gonna listen to Gilliman's idea of making the legions into chapters. They're not gonna do that. But literally he told Sigismund, hey, I know you love that white color, but you're getting a cooler color now. You're getting black because that means you serve the Emperor directly. And he was on board. Why couldn't he do that with the other guys? Why do you have to send them into a massacre? He could have just been like, hey, everybody, I know we were Iron Fists, but now we're going to be different guys. Remember what I said? The pinky, the thumb, the pointer. And you can keep some white, but we're changing our colors, okay? It worked for Sigismund. Also, I know he's the GOAT, so maybe that's why that worked for him. You know what? I'm just saying, hey, third option here. Third option here, Daddy Dorn.
As such, he had been marked out in the sight of the Emperor. Reassured, Sigismund strode across the war-torn scenes of carnage, of hell on earth, challenged any and all champions of chaos to single
He just took
combat,
that and was like,
as well
bet.
as anyone else unfortunate enough to cross his path. Since that time, the Black Templars chapter has continued to honor Sigismund by continuing the practice of naming an Emperor's champion. Ever since Sigismund was elevated to the rank of the High Marshal, or Chapter Master, of the Black Templars, there have been others who have risen to follow in his stead as the Emperor's champion. It is written in the holy texts of the Black Templars that when a battle brother is gifted with divine visions guiding him to take up the mantle of the Emperor's champion, it is the memories of Sigismund he sees. It is a shifting vista of warring angels.
Wait,
and
is Sigismund
vengeful
dead?
gods, just as the ancient Space Marine witnessed during their war for terror and
He's
the
a
blasphemy
chapter
of the
master.
Horus heresy. Only those who have become the Emperor's champion and survived can hope to understand the time in which Sigismund
Oh, he's
lived,
dead? Oh,
and the
rip.
weight of his duty to smite the enemies of the Emperor.
He died
To
so
become
long
the
ago. Oh,
Emperor's champion
rip.
is no matter of training, but rather a sacred calling that most Black Templars aspire to, but few ever achieve.
Oh, a couple
To be
thousand
chosen
years.
to
Oh,
serve
rip.
as the Emperor's champion is to be chosen by the Emperor himself. Becoming the Emperor's champion is a single honor, and few Space Marines attain that status more than once in their lives, if at all. On the eve of battle, Black Templar brethren pray and fast. On some extremely rare occasions, a battle brother may feel the blessings of righteous certainty upon him, and know that he must take up the mantle of the Emperor's champion. The battle brother will seek out the chaplains and be declared the Emperor's champion. Unless a chaplain of the Black Templars is present and able to take the brother's confession, he must assume the mantle alone, donning the most sacred relics of his chapter and declaring his mission to his fellows. He will seek permission from the master of the armory to bear into battle the most potent of weapons and the most revered of armor. Few would dare refuse, for the battle brother's eyes burn with the zeal of his duty, and the weight of his oaths is an almost palpable thing. Having taken up the trappings of the Emperor's champion, the battle brother remains as such until his vision is fulfilled. Only by the word of the chaplains is his duty discharged, and he resumes his place in the ranks of his chapter once more. How and why the Emperor's champion manifests within the soul of a Black Templar remains a mystery, even to the chapter itself, though the Black Templars accept it as the divine work of the God Emperor and a measure of their faith. Indeed, as far as they are concerned, that the Emperor's champion is unique to the Black Templars only goes to prove their profound connection to the Master of Mankind and the strength of their devotion. While the accounts of the vision vary from one battle brother to the next, many of the symbols and themes remain the same. A mighty hero fighting an impossible foe, a fading light that must be rekindled, and a time of endless enemies crashing upon crumbling fortress walls. All are images given by the Emperor. Awaking from his vision trance, the battle brother will proclaim the Emperor's visitation, and the chaplain will take him away so that a true ceremony may begin. The most senior Black Templar chaplain in the crusade is called to listen to the vision and verify its authenticity. Ever fearful of demonic trickery and false interpretation, the chaplain will have the battle brother recount what he saw, referencing the Liber Divinitatis of the chapter to see if symbols and images recorded there match those described. Never in the history of the chapter has a battle brother received a false vision, each and every one a true vessel of the God Emperor. The vision confirmed, the battle brother is taken to the chapter's shrine, sacred ground blessed by the chaplains wherever the company makes its camp. Whether it is the scorched earth of an alien world, the shadowy creaking hold of an imperial vessel, or the rusted dripping ruins of a hive city, this is a place holy to the chapter, made divine by the grace of the God Emperor. From a sealed stasis casket, the chaplain draws out the black sword and armor of faith, the trappings of the Emperor's champion. With great care, the attendant chapter serfs will then dress the battle brother as blessings are recited over each plate and seal. Tiny spidery script is etched upon the armor, further protecting its wearer from harm, each one a benediction to the Emperor's might and a promise of his divine protection. Finally, once the visored helmet is placed upon his head, the newly anointed Emperor's champion will heft.
Okay, pause. Hi, Dreadnought. So I was like, how do you know? Okay, I didn't pause and ask this because there have been so many times where you guys are like, Hey, this girl's pausing and asking a question that's literally going to be answered in 1 second, okay? So I listened, I waited, but I was like, how the hell can they just have a dream or a vision, sorry, and then they just take their word? I was like, what if they just have a dream? What if they just have a really convincing dream? But apparently they have facts, fact checking. The chaplains fact check them. They look for the symbols. But I don't know. Like, shouldn't all of the Black Templars be familiar with what the symbols are? Like, what if you just have a dream? Do you reckon the Templars ever realize that the Emperor isn't actually God? Nope. Because their imperial truth is that he is. And that's why Uncle Rabooty hates their booty. But yeah, that's just kind of crazy. The Emperor just talks to them. And he's like, hey, I want you, Steven. You're my new champion. Oh, it happens in the middle of the pre-battle. Okay. The Emperor is a present in the war. Yes, guess where dreams and whispers come from. But so far, none of them have ever been a false dream. So, I mean, like, hey, their track record's pretty good. Shout out. Shout out, Black Templars. You're doing something.
Emperor's might and a promise of his divine protection.
Okay, he
Finally,
gets suited up.
Once the visored helmet is placed upon his head,
He gets his fitty.
the newly anointed Emperor's champion will heft the black sword, placing both hands on it and lifting it into the air. The ritual is done, and the Emperor's champion is ready to begin his holy work. In battle, the Emperor's champion fights alone. Even though he might stride through the ranks of the Battle Brothers, he does not heed the orders of captains, nor share their objectives. He exists only to vanquish the most powerful foes of the Emperor,
The
singling them
Emperor's
out in personal combat,
singular
chewing them apart
champion.
with felling blows from the black sword. No warrior that has seen the Emperor's champion in battle can deny that the God Emperor is working through his faithful servant. Haloed by a faint glow of faith manifest, enemy bolts and bullets that would tear ordinary men apart seem to have no impact upon the champion. The blessed battle brother walks across the field as if the hand of the Emperor shields him, shells ripping the air and earth to pieces in his wake, while he remains untouched. Even when a powerful blow or blast knocks the Emperor's champion to the ground, he will haul himself to his feet, shaking debris from his armor to continue his charge into the foe.
And how do we
The effect of
explain
the Emperor's
this?
champion on a battle is undeniable, and many Black Templars battle brothers believe that it is a blessing merely to fight beside one. While the champion does not follow orders from his former commanders, he answers to a greater power, and the chapter is content to allow him to seek out specific enemies or war zones as guided by his visions. This is borne out to the belief that the Emperor's champion manifests for a reason, one that is beyond the ken of the chapter commanders, but that is nonetheless important to victory.
Just faith. There is no
It
explanation.
is the reason that the Emperor's champion has been summoned to kill a potent foe, or turn the tide of a vital conflict, and he alone knows what is required of him. The ritual of the Black Blade. It is rare for the Emperor's champion to live long beyond donning the armor of faith. Filled with
Except
divine courage,
Sigismund.
he will hurl himself into the thickest fighting or against the greatest enemy warlords, selling his life for the glory of his chapter, while taking scores of the foe with him. It is a doom that both Battle Brother and Chapter accept as part of their covenant with the God Emperor, the knowledge that greater glory is won only with the blood of heroes. When an Emperor's champion falls, the Chapter's chaplains will bear his body from the field of battle. In a ritual that honors his divine deeds, the armor of faith is removed, its seals broken, and its prayers washed away with holy oils. Then, in an honoring ceremony, High Marshal Helbrecht listens to Chapter Grimalda's tale of the deeds of the Emperor's champion, while a venerable chapter serf inscribes the Battle Brother's name onto the blade. The ritual complete, and the name having taken its place next to its predecessors, the blade is placed back into its stasis casket until another is chosen by the Emperor to claim it. End quote.
So is he dead? Wait. That would make sense. How did Sigismund survive? They were like, bro, you did amazing as the Emperor's champion. We need you to be the master now, the chapter master. Everyone else, you die. The heck?
I have been Baldemort, your faithful servant.
Thank you,
I hope
Baldemort.
you've enjoyed this introduction to the Emperor's champion.
Thank you for
If
the
so,
introduction.
then please do consider liking and subscribing. If you do, then do consider also
I am
pressing
liking.
the notifications button,
And I have
as I
subscribed.
would not want you to miss out. Now, no matter what you do today, do try to make some time for fun.
Okay.
Tulu,
That's it.
back to the story.
Oh, there's more.
The dust is settling around
Oh!
me.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, it was the story that he wrote, then a little bit about the Black Templars, and now we're back at the story. Heard.
I am still alive. Death's fault. He wills it. I fight another day. Perhaps. I can feel my body is mostly broken. My mind swims in and out of wakefulness. I hear them, I think, above me. I barely recognize the voices as the Inquisitor and the young man. The one who saved us all. Despite my victory, had he not acted, perhaps this world would belong to the enemy now. Everyone is dead, and you drag me up here to see another carcass. Boy, you test my patience mightily today.
Boy.
I suppose saving the world by stopping the sword counts for nothing in your tally, eh, Master? You ignored my orders, involved yourself in a duel that, had it ended differently, would have meant that Marine would then behead you. So that's a no, then. Fair enough, Master. One more flippant word out of you. One. And you'll be taking another vow of silence. A quarter instead of just a month this time. You are warned. My apologies, Master. It must be my concussion. Always excuses with you. Master, this Marine is special. I feel it. We should enlist him. Tarban is dead. You have needs of a Templar guard. Request this one. Why? He is broken. He was the Emperor's champion, boy. That is the might you
See, so he
witnessed.
didn't die. He didn't die. This Emperor's champion didn't. So that sometimes they die and sometimes they don't die. Right? Okay. Heard.
Is not this broken thing. Master, you said my only worthwhile skill, my only talent, was to discern the greatness in others. An admittance I wish I had never made. Nonetheless, I see greatness in him. He is fundamental to the Thaddeus. I can feel it. What you feel is shame.
Oh.
Shame at your errors.
Oh.
Shame at your actions.
Oh.
You merely attempt to move my eye from your shortcomings to this
Oh.
Marine. Master, you
Damn.
know that is not true. Deep down you do. I will prove it.
Catching straight.
And how, pray tell, will you do that? We will take off his helmet. And what will that prove?
He's bald.
That you are right and I am a fool.
Oh.
Or that you are right and I can discern greatness when it is in my presence. So very cleverly put. Do it. But
See,
do not think I am with you.
this is how you appeal. He's like, it'll only prove two things. One, that you're right, or two, that you're right. So you can't lose. This guy's a salesman. Get in there. One, you're right, and I'm an idiot. Or two, you're right, and I'm a genius. Either way, you're right, my guy.
Or placated by your obsequiousness. I am not. I feel hands at the latches of my helm.
I feel hands.
It must be removed ceremonially. By my brethren, by the chaplains. He does so anyway. The air is warm. Flecks of burning ash land on my face. It is enough to make me wake more, but my eyes will not open. You see? Look at him. I was right. Look. I see a broken Astartes. Master, you know who he looks like. Who he may well be.
Does he look
The
like?
sons of Sigismund and Dawn are not known for their gene seed to produce the effect of the salamanders, or the others who mutate to be a likeness of their sire. They do not. It is a sign. Perhaps. I doubt it, but perhaps. If he survives, I will ask for him by name. What is it? Barbon. I think I heard that his name is Barbon. I lose consciousness again. Days pass. I am told that I was, as is usual, taken from the field by my brothers, with pomp and circumstance. The chaplains removed the holy armour, the holy blade, and put them back into their places of sanctity, ready for the next time one of us is called. I spend time in the apothecary. Am interviewed by the chaplains to make certain I have not been corrupted by that which I fought.
Is there like an Emperor's Champion version of a veteran? Like veteran Emperor's Champions? Hello, is there a VA? Can we get the former Emperor's Champions a VA? I'm just saying.
Later, I was released and presented to the Marshal, our leader, the lord of our crusade. I walk, do so stiff-backed, despite the discomfort. The chamber is well lit, candles across every column, braziers between them. There stands my lord, and with him the other inquisitor, this Thaddeus. His younger man is the only one of his entourage present. I am later to find that they were wiped out. My lord nods at me, a token of the honor I have won for the chapter, the respect he now has for me. I step up and kneel, and he begins. You have done well, Barbon. Has struck down the foes of the Emperor himself. By your actions are the evil destroyed, and the world for which we fought is saved. But your trials are not yet done. I will now that you consider this offer an honor, but one you may not wish to perform. I cannot order you. It must be accepted with good grace. Looking up, I nod for him to proceed. For years now, since the destruction of the arch-traitor and heretic Gauge Van Deer, our order has been linked with this inquisitor and his line. He indicated the tall, willowy man. He didn't need to, of course. I am aware of them. I remember their conversation now. We owe him a debt. It has always been a Black Templar that is with them in their labours. It was a Thaddeus that brought us into the inner palace, tore down the wards and found secret passages to allow us in. Without this, perhaps those days may not have ended as they did. But the debt is one thing. The duty is another. It is a black temper that is tied to this particular inquisitor because of what they are and what they represent. They call themselves the Wisdom, the Thaddeus, and ever otherwise unable to move with certainty. Hence it is a Black Templar that is their shield, their sword and their warlord. For when the Wisdom finally declares something anathema, a foe to be destroyed for the greater Imperium, then it must be a warrior of unbridled faith, certainty and wrath that carries this out. It is also our agreement for the Wisdom, the Thaddeus, that is known to have strayed before. So it is proper that a holy warrior is there, to not only protect their person, but to safeguard their purity, their goal, and their very soul. But before you say aye or nay, know this. An inquisitor carries the seal of the Emperor and does many things in his name, and in the company of those may repulse you, the witch especially.
Pew purple just swam in Tilda.
Huh? Thank you for the follow. I don't even see the following message. What? I heard it. I don't see it. Thanks.
And it will be your duty to be his sword, but to know that he will have many weapons in his service that may not be in keeping with your oaths. Your oath to the Thaddeus is an oath to Malcador.
Hello?
Purple just became a prime sushi roll. Itadakimasu tilde.
Oh, thank you for the prime sub. What's happening? Hello? Hold on. That's the second person to follow in prime sub. That's crazy. Hold on. Just making sure I'm not being... Making sure I'm not being, what do you call that? Botted. You guys are real, right? Can you tell me if you're real or if you're a bot? Thank you for the sub. Welcome and thank you for the follow. Okay. Please don't be a bot. Back to the story.
The hero is to the god emperor himself. It does not negate your previous vows, but can put them in abeyance for the greater good of the Imperium. This duty, this honor, this debt to the Thaddeus must be paid. So it is thee, or another. What say you? I think to myself, I do not wish to take this oath. I do not like this Thaddeus. But when has one to liking ever
I'm not a
mattered to
bot.
Templar?
Yay, thank you for not being a bot. Yay. Hello? My chat's not working. Hold on. Show me the chat. I did watch Sisters of Battle video. Yeah. Now I can't see YouTube chat. What the hell's happening? Okay, let me pull up YouTube chat on something else. You watch a Sanguinius one after? Ooh. Sanguinius. Okay, YouTube, I got your chat over here. Don't even worry.
But let us see if there is anything I can redeem from this thing. The Thaddeus I am to be sworn to. But what does that mean? What is it? The Inquisitor steps forward. It is a rank, a station, a way of thought, investigation,
A way of life.
a method of hunting down the scum within our realm. But it is the rank, not the person. So when I expire, it will pass to another. Your understudy? I indicate the boy. Alas so. I can understand why you would not want to take this oath. He said this with a sneer. Not at me, I am sure, but at the thought of passing his precious torch to the man next to him. And I look at them both. I cannot find anything to like in this one, nor anything to admire, if I am honest. But the other, his successor, he is brave, intelligent, patient, and humble. But the fire in his eyes, the devotion, it shines.
The fire in his eyes.
Aye, I can serve him. I look to my lord. I will take this task, no matter how onerous, no matter how it may besmirch my honor. It was the will of the Emperor that I became his champion. It is his will again that I serve this Thaddeus. I accept the trial. My lord nods. Good. I have a few stipulations, says the Inquisitor. This is not all one way. I have to accept you too, Barbon. And I give thee 3 oaths to let you know them, so you can still recant. The first, you will serve the Thaddeus without hesitation. The second, you will never reveal your face before other Astartes, never-born scholars, or other inquisitors, under any circumstances. The third, you will train against multiple assailants, and will not practice dueling to the exclusion of all else. I draw in my breath through my teeth. He smiles sardonically. This is not against me. This is to force me to withdraw, to recant, so that he can berate and belittle that braver young man at his side. It is a game. I will not play it. Of course, I do not understand, but I will do it.
Me.
And thus,
In every
I,
setting of
the
life.
Templars, one who has been the Emperor's own champion, swore these oaths. My lord left, and I rose. As I too left, I heard them. They always forget the hearing of the Astartes, these inquisitors. Happy? Will I get a quarter of silence if I am honest? This once. No. But do not be trite or flippant, or I'll sew your mouth shut myself. He is who I believe him to be. I know it. Look at him, the resemblance, the skill, the power, the will. He should have died. He is who he appears to be. Romantic fairy tales. He is a marine you are besotted with. Nothing more. The older Inquisitor leaves. The boy still mutters away to himself as I depart. None can know the Emperor has sent you back to us. Not yet. For he, the God Emperor of mankind, would not have done so for any mean or meagre reason, any mean or meagre task. For you to be returned, it can only mean one thing. We will have need of your power, your courage, your example. For indeed, he tells us that the end times are here, that the final battle is to be waged soon, and he sends back his greatest grandson, his greatest warrior, to wage it.
Oh! Barbos? Barble? Barble? Is Sigismund? Is that what he's saying? He's saying Barble is Sigismund reincarnated? Is that what he's saying? Or am I dumb? Or is he pink? Continue.
300 years later, the present day.
He might have said they look alike, but he might also have seen someone else. And he was alluding to them looking alike because he was like of the same gene seed, right? But I think he's saying it's more than that. 300 years later.
The two men stood across from each other, the ravages of time fully writ on the face of the smaller man, despite the many redos he had taken. The other, the Astartes, had not one sign of all of the years between that time and now.
Oh, he didn't grow
The
old?
march of time touched him only insomuch as the multitude of scars he now had. I will not serve him. My oaths prevent it, stated Barbel. There has been a Black Templar with the Thaddeus for over 5,000 years. Since the age of apostasy, the reign of blood. When we, the Thaddeus, helped the forces of Sigismund's eternal crusade into the palace, smashing the walls and glyphs protecting the outer areas, we led you in. And for that we were given a right hand, a hammer to smash the foes of the Emperor when we had sniffed them out. The demon, and all that cavort with them. Do you think the demon less a threat than the witch that summons him? Are you that small and single-minded after all this time? After all you have seen? I am an Emperor's champion, touched by the Emperor's light himself, given vision and cause and purpose. How could you, even you, ask this of me? Especially you. I will not serve a witch. How dare you? You will do as you are told, Astartes. You claim to be his symbol, the very hand of the Emperor. But you are not. That is me. Me and my brother Inquisitors. It is we, not thee, who were mandated by the direct order of the God Emperor himself. It is our order that are given his seal, his writ, his authority, to go wherever we need, to requisition all that we need from any that we need, without restraint. Who art thou to gainsay the will of the Emperor? Who art thou to deny his servants, created by Malcador the hero, by the order of the very master of mankind? Who art thou to say me nay? How dare you? If you so much as mention this again, so much as think it, what will you do? I will send you back. What? I will send you back to your order, your chapter, the Black Templars. At this, Sadeas now drew himself up to his full height and walked towards Barbon, snarling. I will commandeer a vessel. I will stop at every planet on our way. I will make it blatant.
Black Templars don't have a home.
Honest. I will shout it from every mountain, every city, every rocks on our way. Everyone will hear me champion my truth, and it will be thus. The word of the Black Templars, the oath of the Black Templars, the honour of the Black Templars is worth nothing. It is a shallow, base exhale of breath with no more strength, no more power than a grok's fart. Their word is worth nothing. You wouldn't.
He's gonna get his ass kicked.
What would you do? Slay me? You would slay the Thaddeus, and make every word I proclaim right. Are you threatening me, Astartes? No. No, I am not.
I would.
Do not test me again, Barbo. You swore an oath to serve the Thaddeus. Not me, not Ordo Melius, not an Inquisitor. The Thaddeus. A pity, perhaps, that you have had me as your master. But that may not be the case for very much longer. You will serve the Thaddeus, no matter who it is. You have stomached my tenure, as pathetic as it may have been. But you will then get the honour of serving the greatest Thaddeus of all time. A psyker he may be, but the Thaddeus he will be. You are here, Barbon, because the Deus Imperator Volt. The God Emperor wills it. Would you refute your own God, dear friend? Warrior of his own blood, his own genes. Why will you not trust in him, in his mighty design? And have you ever considered that his design is for a Black Templar to be present when the Thaddeus is a witch and strays? That it was always a Black Templar that would end the line? That it may be my hand that has to separate Tarquinius's head from his shoulders? The old man looked stunned, took a step back, then smiled deeply and warmly, his eyes glistening. I heard you as I left the chapel. I heard you. A moment of silence as Thaddeus walked the mindscape of his memory. Then his face softened still. You heard that? After all this time, my friend, only now do you mention it? My answer, every year, every month together has proven that to me more and more. I now have no shadow of a doubt. Then tell me who you think I am. End the riddle that has been playing on my mind for over 300 years.
Oh, he's gonna say it. Say it! Say it!
You know really, Barbon. You see it in the mirror each day. You feel it in the regime. You know really. You just do not want to believe, as it would offend your humble bearing.
Say it!
Then free me of my regime. I must be all I can be, if the threat is as you foresee. If you do that, everyone will know who you are. Everyone. But will it matter anymore?
perhaps. It may end up drawing more attention than you and Tarquinius can manage. But then, for him, as with you, it has never been, and never could have been, easy. All right, Barbon. I free you of your regimes. You may train as you were always meant to train. You must become what you always were meant to become. The Marine breathed in and seemed to increase in size. Seemed to tower now in a way he had never done before. Not since the first time they had met. But I do not free you of your second oath, Brother Thaddeus. You will keep your face covered amongst others of your kind. Scholars, never-born and inquisitors. Because if you are ever found out, in that instant, in that very moment, you will become a target for all of the forces of hell.
Because they hate Sigismund. Yeah! Yeah! Woo! Money! That was so cool! That was so... Don't look at Smosh. Don't look at Smosh. Let's go back. He never actually said it. Well, he wrote it down. He wrote it down. There it is. Ultradra, thank you for the follow.
Ultradra just swam.
Sigismund! That was cool. And he wrote this? Baldemort. Oh my goobus. Did I already thumbs up? I sure did. I was so lost at the beginning, guys, but now I'm so found. I'd read this. Hello? No, actually, I'd let him read this to me. That was cool. Let's frickin' go, Siggy. Plausible deniability. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We have a quick Twitch ad, and then we're going on to the last video, which is Krakduk. Krakduk. I'm gonna run the ad now. Go get a snack. Go stretch. This video is 20 minutes. So yeah. See you soon.
New fishy alert. Odious just swam in Tilda.
Didn't even follow Odious. Oh, the frick. My activity feed died now. What is happening? Oh, hell. Okay. I fixed what I broke. Get a drink. Boop, boop, boop. Oh, frick. There is no paid promotion in this video. I forgot to turn that off. Gosh dang it. Oopsie. Well, you know. I didn't get the notification for the stream. Sierra, literally, this stream was for you. I was literally at the beginning. You gotta watch the VOD. I was like, when we got that wave of new followers in the Warhammer community, there has always been one person who was like, please, Black Templars. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do it right now. It's okay. You're here for the Krakduk section. Thank you for watering the fish, Leora. You're here for the Krakduk section. And thank you for watering the chat. Okay, everybody, get your water. We're going into the last section of the stream.
Hi friends, today we're talking about one of the most, if not the most, badass chapters of Space Marines ever. That's right, today we're talking about the Black Templars.
Yay!
The Black Templars are, in a way, the most 40k Space Marines. Ultramarines may be the poster boys, but when you really think about the traits that people attribute to the setting, the Black Templars really embody these to the max. Incredible warriors, extreme religious fervor, eternal war, and extremely badass all around. That's the Black Templars, baby. The Black Templars are a second founding successor of the Imperial Fist, and were one of the first successor chapters ever founded. And these guys' origins lie with one of the greatest, if not the greatest, Space Marines of all time, and one of the most badass, if not the most badass dudes in all of 40k. Super Ultra Chad Sigismund! Woo!
Sigismund!
But also, super exciting channel announcement before we get too far into the video. I'm making a plush. If I can get at least 200 of you awesome people to sign
I want to make a
petition,
plush.
But yes, Plush Duck can be a reality if enough of you guys want it to be. It's like the meme orc powers. If enough of us believe and pay for this thing to happen, it'll totally happen. Wow,
Me.
a 40k reference. And who wouldn't want a little version of me hanging around their room? Just look at how cute and epic
What
this
about a
little concept of him
ssakanasushi
looks.
plush?
But yeah, if you want a Krakduk plush, be sure to check out the link to the petition below and get more details. This is legitimately
6
one
months
of the
ago,
most
it should be
exciting
there.
projects I've ever done, as I'm a huge plushie
Guys,
fan,
check
and
it out.
I've always wanted something based on my art since I was a wee boy. So, if you want one of the best, if not the
the plush
best
is come and
plushies
gone.
ever, check it.
No, we missed the plush. I'm a Blood Angel stan myself. When is Alpha Legion gonna come? They're coming, okay? They're in line. There's a queue. There's a queue.
Get out. But anyways, Sigismund was the greatest son of Dorn and the Imperial Fist's first captain. Most already know, but
Oh, it
Sigismund
ended on
was
March
an
2nd,
absolute
rip.
insano. He became the youngest of the Imperial Fist's elite Templars and would become the first captain after facing 200 of his fellow Templars in a row. The 200th combatant in this combat trial was Appius the First Dreadnought. Yeah, this
He beat a
crazy guy won
Dreadnought?
his duel with a Contemptor Dreadnought. Badass. And so, after demonstrating his worth,
Wait.
Sigismund was made badass.
There's a note. He also barely won, but was spurred on by a mysterious voice reminding him of his grand duty. Duty!
And so, after demonstrating his worth, Sigismund was made first captain and was just an overall badass throughout the Great Crusade. Then, you know the drill, Horus does his heresy, kill some birds and lizards, blah blah. Anyways, after the Isfahan massacre, Rogel Dorn requests that Sigismund lead the Imperial Fist Retribution Fleet. This would usually be a great honor that Sigismund would take without question. However, Sigismund spoke to the Remembrancer Euphrates Keeler, and she foretold of two fates that stood before Sigismund. Either he would die a glorious death in the void and be forgotten to time, or he could fight an eternal war and help his father on an inevitable defense of Terra. So, Sigismund asked his father not to lead the fleet, but he didn't disclose why. Trusting his favorite son, though, Dorn appointed another to lead the fleet. Then, later on at the Siege of Terra, Sigismund finally told Dorn why he didn't go with the Retribution fleet, and this enraged the Primarch. Dorn took Sigismund's actions as not only cowardly, but antithetical to all that the Space Marines and Primarchs were. To Dorn, they were mere tools for the Emperor's will and the good of the Imperium. In addition, Sigismund put superstition, the word of a prophecy, above reason and duty. Even if the prophecy was true, Sigismund had no right to make that choice. Wait, you wasted my Dorn dollars on a stupid fortune teller?
Oh, no.
And even though this prophecy did come true and the Retribution fleet fared a lot better under the command of Alexis Pollux, and Sigismund contributed to the Siege of Terra a lot better as the Emperor's champion than some space corpse, at the time, Dorn was under the impression that the Retribution fleet was completely destroyed, so he thought that Sigismund not going led to his brothers dying instead of him. So, all this and the fact that it was his most trusted and favored son was just too much for Dorn, and he disowned Sigismund, which gave Sigismund even more drive to prove himself and serve the Imperium. And prove himself he did. Sigismund went into overdrive and was somehow even more of a badass than he was prior. And despite being disowned, he still commanded the Fist as to not break morale from within. But anyways, at the Siege of Terra, Sigismund perhaps reached peak badassery. This madman tried fighting Fulgrim, he fought a warp-roided up Karn, and killed basically everything else he came across. Badass!
That's kind of cool.
Eventually,
He fought his uncle.
Sigismund would receive the Black Sword from the Emperor and was appointed the Emperor's champion. Adorned, pun intended, in black armor, Sigismund at this point was essentially an avatar of the Emperor's wrath. From all that had happened, he was basically dead inside, cold and disillusioned as he realized that peace was impossible and there was no hope for the Imperium.
Sigismund used to be a talkative, passionate fighter, but after getting disowned and experiencing the heresy, he lost his passion in exchange for an undying adherence to his duty. He was a silent, cold killer at this point. Ooh.
All he could do was fulfill his ultimate purpose and make the traitors hurt. Sigismund went on
Frick 'em
an
up.
absolute rampage as he went around hunting Chaos Champions and killing all the traitors that paved the way to said champions. Most notably, he killed the warp-infused Karn this time around, and Karn even remarked how his former friend had lost his passion and humanity and was now just a murder machine fueled by duty. And then, later on, in a pivotal moment, Sigismund joined Keeler in a prayer to empower the Emperor and reactivate the Astronomicon so that Guilliman could bring much-needed reinforcements. Then, after the siege had concluded, Sigismund knew that the war was not over, and he hunted down Abaddon and the other traitors. He was also made first High Marshal of the Black Templars after the Codex Astartes broke the legions into chapters. Here, he would go on to lead the most zealous and faithful Fist in their eternal crusade. The Templars bore Sigismund's and the Imperial Fist Templars' colors and heraldry, and to prove his undying faith and loyalty, Sigismund declared an eternal crusade in order for his chapter to destroy all of the Emperor's enemies. And this crusade continues to the present setting as all High Marshals had followed Sigismund's path and quest for vengeance. Then, later on, centuries after the Siege of Terra, when everyone else thought the heretical legion's dead, Sigismund and his Templars still believed them to be a threat, and they hunted them down to the Eye of Terror, where he would have his final duel against Abaddon the Despoiler on Cadia in the Despoiler's first Black Crusade. The old Sigismund fearlessly faced Abaddon and allowed Abaddon to land a killing blow in exchange.
That's a lot of text.
Fearlessly faced Abaddon and allowed Abaddon to.
At this point, Sigismund was literally 1,000 years old, if not older, and while Marines have slowed aging, he had slightly slowed and weakened over the ages. On the contrary, Abaddon hardly aged since he had been in the warp for those centuries. So Sigismund knew he likely wouldn't definitely defeat Abaddon, so he set a trap to trade a killing blow for another. It almost worked as Abaddon nearly died and required extensive health care afterwards. Abaddon even said if Sigismund was even slightly younger, Sigismund would have likely won the duel. Oh, he lost because of his old age. Oh, Gramps.
Land a killing blow in exchange for Sigismund plunging his black blade deep into Abaddon's hearts. Impaled, Abaddon tore the legend in half, and even in half, Sigismund fought on, using his last breath to tell Abaddon that Abaddon would eventually die as Horus did, soulless, honorless, weeping, and ashamed.
Sigismund was also basically the only Marine Abaddon respected, as he sent his body and sword back to the Imperium to honor the legendary warrior and send a message. Damn. To the best of my knowledge, nobody has managed to hand Karn the Betrayer his own ass the way Sigismund did over the next 10k years. Let's freaking go, Siggy! Bro, ripped him in half and he's still swinging? Me. Stop doing that.
But even with their founder dead, the Black Templars would continue Sigismund's legacy, and 10,000 years later, the Templars are still kicking ass and waging the Eternal Crusade.
Kicking ass,
present
taking
time,
names.
The Black Templars are one of the most, if not the most, zealous and unrelenting Space Marine chapters. They are not only one of the most elite chapters, but they're also one of the most numerous. The Templars don't adhere to Guilliman's Codex Astartes and have many more Marines than the 1,000 of Codex-compliant chapters. In addition to not following the Codex, the Templars also hardly follow Imperial leadership. Despite their goals and religion mostly aligning with the High Lords of Terra, the Black Templars are extremely independent. They don't take orders from anyone except their own High Marshal, and other Imperial forces can only request their aid. And ultimately, the Black Templars choose their battles and do whatever they believe is best for the Emperor and Imperium of Man. This, along with their defiance of the Codex Astartes, has some Inquisitors suspicious of the chapter. I mean, of course, it's harder to find a non-suspicious Inquisitor than a secular Black Templar, but anyways, they avoid conflict with the Inquisition thanks to their exemplary track record and the fact that their undying loyalty is painfully apparent. Plus, basically no Inquisitor would be dumb enough to challenge such a powerful chapter. But anyways, they also have no homeworld, as being a fleet-based chapter is more befitting of their never-ending crusade. Their famous crusade fleets are huge, consisting of many battle barges and support craft, with their High Marshal commanding them from their flagship, the Eternal Crusader. The Eternal Crusader is a huge modified battle barge that houses all the relics, as well as a bunch of chapels, of course. But expanding on their crusade fleets, it's rare for the entire chapter to be fighting together, and more often than not, the fleet is broken up into a number of crusades across the galaxy, led by marshals appointed by the High Marshal. On their crusades, they go world to world, crushing all enemies of the Emperor and building chapter keeps on conquered worlds. These fortresses are meant to glorify the Emperor and ensure the world remains loyal. In addition, this is the primary way that the chapter recruits new aspirants. Which, speaking of, Black Templar recruits are made up of the bravest and most willing children of the most hardcore worlds of the Imperium. Since they select aspirants from a ton of different worlds, the Black Templars have a lot more flexibility in getting the best recruits. Just like how those bastard private schools buy the best athletes across the states to feel superior to public high schools in football. But anyways, once selected, aspirants are thoroughly inspected to ensure that they are pure and free of mutation and /or chaos taint. If deemed worthy, the aspirant is made a neophyte and must sever themselves from their past life, as they are now wholly dedicated to serving the Emperor. They are no longer human, rather they are an extension of the Emperor's divine will and are forever duty-bound, as Sigismund was before them. And unlike other chapters, the Black Templars don't have scout companies. Rather, neophytes are made squires to Black Templar initiates who fight alongside them in Crusader squads and teach them the chapter culture and art of combat. The neophytes are trained and augmented until they're finally awarded their own suit of armor and made an initiate themselves.
Yay!
And expanding on Crusader squads, these are the backbone to Black Templar fighting companies and consist of Templar initiates and their neophytes. Sometimes they'll even be led by a sword brother. Which, speaking of, the Sword Brethren are the most elite warriors of the Black Templars. Originating from the Imperial Fist's Templar Brethren, these elite warriors continue their traditions of martial prowess and indomitable might in the Black Templars. Those who prove themselves great heroes within the chapter are made Sword Brethren and no longer need to trade neophytes. They have access to the best gear and weapons
F those
and are
kids.
the most honored of the chapter. They can also use Terminator armor, baby! Woo! But even above Sword Brethren, there's one more step of absolute badass.
Other than the officers or HQs or whatever you would call them, like the chaplains and apothecaries. Black Templar chaplains, apothecaries are mostly what you'd expect, which is why I didn't touch on them much. I'll make a video about them in the various Marine HQs. Notably, however, of course, the Black Templar apothecaries and chaplains are religious, and chaplains are predictably even more respected in the chapter. I can read.
And that is the Emperor's Champion. These dudes are the absolute most hardcore Marines in the chapter, and there's an Emperor's Champion for each Black Templar crusade. These dudes model themselves off Sigismund and are total badass, crazy insanos on the battlefield who are imbued with a divine hatred to kill extra hard. Deriving from Sigismund's pre-battle ritual he learned as a wee little orphan, the Black Templars pray before battle, and one very special Templar will receive a vision from the Emperor just as Sigismund did, and it will tell them of their divine duty. They confess their visions to their chaplains and are interrogated, and then they're given the sacred armor of faith and the black sword and are let loose as the #1 killer.
Yay!
These are the Templars' greatest warriors. They are guided by the Emperor's will in hunting down the champions of the enemy as Sigismund did on Terra. But they also will eviscerate anyone on the way, just as Sigismund did on Terra. And beyond that, the Emperor's champions are inspirational figures who even further embolden the zeal of their battle brothers. As such, if an Emperor's champion is to fall in battle, the Templars see this as a bad omen and the battle is believed to be all but lost. If they truly do lose the battle, they must launch a penitent crusade to recover the armor of faith and the black sword at all costs in order to atone for their failures. Anyways though, in battle the Black Templars often fight like Sigismund did, and they prefer decisive close-quarters swordsmanship over ranged warfare. They find that close-quarters combat is not only more honorable and glorious, but it also allows them to ensure the total destruction of their abhorrent foes. Which, in the setting of 40k, is quite literally true, as personal melee combat is more effective at killing the forces of the warp than ranged firepower. They are wholly unrelenting and vow to crush any foe, no matter the cost and no
Never
matter
back
the
down,
odds.
never
The
what?
death of their battle brothers only serves to fuel their fervor, and to demoralize a Black Templar is near impossible. Their two primary doctrines are the death from above and an armored spearhead. Death from above is a rapid shock tactic in which orbital bombardments, drop pod assaults, and
Orbital
thunderhawk
borbitals.
strikes are utilized to quickly dismantle enemy formations, destroy key operatives, kill commanders, and completely demoralize their opposition. And for the more stubborn heretics, the armored spearhead is a crushing machine of bikes, land speeders, and heavy armor meant to break the enemy's weak points and annihilate them with sheer unrelenting force. But then finally,
Is there a kit
as
for
their
that?
chapter culture, they're fucking insanos. Now, that's a highly
Culture?
abridged way to
Insane.
put it, but more comprehensively, these dudes are extreme crazy religious nuttos. They completely worship the Emperor as a god and really embody the religious Space Knight aspect of the Space Marines. And it's totally badass. Their sole purpose in life is to glorify the Emperor through divine conquest. They are nothing more than warriors to vanquish the heinous foes of the Emperor. Relating to their dedication to their duty of purging the enemies of the Emperor and fighting till the very end, the Black Templars chain their weapons to themselves, both to symbolize how they're inherently connected to their weapons and are weapons themselves, but also to ensure that they're never without their weaponry to always be ready to kill shit. Oh, and they also wear skeletons and stuff, which really adds to their aesthetic. They also do this to honor their dead, but sometimes they'll adorn the remains of the heretics to intimidate other heretics. Anyways though, due to their adherence to the Emperor's will, the Templars especially hate Psykers since the Emperor banned them in the Council of Nicaea. So they have no librarians and often work to hunt the witches that plague the galaxy. And this next part is a little bit
witches
shaky and
are
lore,
the
but sometimes the
Psykers.
Black Templars will treat the Navigators with a great deal of respect as they were pardoned in the Nicaea Edict, plus the Templars believed these particular Psykers to be touched by the Emperor himself. And other times, they'll just begrudgingly work with the Navigators who have been intensively examined and had their purity proven. I personally prefer the former, as it makes a lot more sense to me for a fleet-based chapter to work well with navigators. Plus, it aligns with the Emperor's decree and demonstrates the inherent hypocrisies of the Imperium. But GW's flip-flop between them a few times, and it seems like they're favoring the latter now. In fact, they're even doubling down on it seems.
Oh.
Anyways, though, more on their culture, the Templars are extremely fanatical, and when they aren't killing the heretic, mutant, and Xeno, they spread the Emperor's will by enlightening the ignorant. They value purity and devotion above all else and have scoured entire worlds that they deem corrupted. However, unlike someone like the Marines Malevolent, they aren't gonna go around killing civilians for fun. The Templars fight for the Emperor first and foremost, and the Emperor's self-appointed duty was to protect humanity in his own way. So, like the Emperor, the Templars are willing to commit horrible atrocities if they believe them to be necessary.
That's
But
just
they
their own
hold
way.
no malice towards the faithful and the compliant. High Marshal Helbrecht even famously said that the strength of the Imperium lies in its faithful people, and they've been known to inspire the people of the Imperium to take up arms and fight alongside the chapter against the heretical. All things considered, and in general, the Black Templars wouldn't be the worst chapter to save your planet. I'd be much more worried about the Iron Hands or, God forbid,
Grey
the Grey
Knights.
Knights.
Yup.
But again, this is if you're a faithful loyalist. If you're a traitor,
Hey, if
Yui!
you're
Let's
loyal,
just say the Black Templars won't
you
be
can
giving
count on the
any
Black
juice
Templars.
boxes. And finally,
If you're a traitor, little
curiously, I've
F,
seen many people say that the Templars
you're
are
gonna
the
get
Phish
wrecked.
chapter to be the least like Dorn, and I couldn't disagree more. Yeah, sure, on the surface, fanatical Crusaders are a far cry from the logical and meticulous Primarch, but deep down to their core, the Templars and Dorn are very much aligned. Dorn was a dude defined by his duty. He was hyper-focused on being a tool of the
If
Emperor.
you're faithful, you might not be faithful
extremely
enough.
valued truth and purity, and he literally went on a penitent crusade in black armor where he went insano style on some traitors. Now, take the Templars, who at their core are Marines hyper devoted to the God Emperor as they believe it to be the best way to prove their loyalty and fulfill their ultimate duty. They seek to purge the galaxy of the impure, and they love going on crazy ass crusades. The Black Templars are definitely sons of Dorn and embody his traits.
They're just
very well, in
like
my opinion.
Dad.
But anyways, that's the Black Templars. They were never my favorite chapter, but I can't deny that they're one of the most badass things in all of 40k, and I'll always appreciate them. Plus, of all the Knight-like chapters, the Templars are the best by a long shot. I also really love the idea of the Emperor's Champion. He's just such a badass unit. Also, their model line is some of the best Primaris models ever. They look
Ooh! That's kind of cute.
super badass. Anyways, though, let me know what you think of the video in the comments below, and whether or not you like the Black Templars or the Crimson Fist more. I tend to swing between the two depending on what I'm in the mood for, but they're both really cool. And if you want an awesome Krakduk plush, be sure to visit the link in the description to sign the petition. I'm really excited to see how this
Yay,
goes. And I hope I
Krakduk!
can have a little version of myself
Congrats on
sitting
your
in my room.
plushie.
And thank you for watching, and big
Thank you
thanks
to
to
his
the patrons who support the
patrons.
channel. You're all very epic. And as always, please like, comment, subscribe, and consider sharing.
Like, yay! Okay, what do we think of the Black Templars? I get the hype. I get why people love them. I think my favorites have not changed, but now I see it. I see it. I hear it. I feel it. Thank you, Heka and Leora, for watering the chat and me. This was beautiful. This was beautiful. I get it. I get it. We also were introduced to a new creator today. I did not watch the Temple Institute's video. Don't worry, you didn't miss that. I still like the Crimson Fist more, if only because of the Lamenter level sack taps they've been put through. Whoa, they've been through Lamenter level stuff? I gotta watch that then. If you think about the Grey Knights and the Terminus Decree, remember? Oh, yeah, you're right. I like them a lot, especially after reading Hell's Reach and watching the movie. Okay, you guys told me I need to watch that movie. I need to watch the Hell's Reach movie and react to it. It's on YouTube. Thanks for the follow, Plumpy Crunchy.
New fishy alert.
Okay,
Plumpy
we'll make
Crunchy
time
just
for that.
swam into
But I'm going to put up a poll for next week's video. Okay. I think we got people wanting salamanders, people wanting blood angels. They're cool, but the Black Templars are not my cup of tea. Black Templars have been my favorite chapter the moment I found out about them. I love that there's so much range. They're badass and they have the best motto. F the Codex Astartes. F them. Their 4 rules. Do we remember their four laws? F the witch. Stay loyal. Never back down. What was the last one? Damn. I got 3 out of 4, guys. F the witch, stay loyal, never back down. Well, 3 out of 4 is a passing to me. Hey, what can I say? Okay, I'm gonna make the poll after Adepticon though, just in case anything jumps out at me at the con and I'm like, I gotta learn more about this, okay? So I'm gonna go to Adepticon. I'm gonna try and film some content, like vlog style. So yeah. I'm trying to get a video. This will be the last stream for this week because I'm going to Adepticon. And Riri's coming over, but I'll try to have another video up, our Zephyr Arcade sponsored video that was streamed on Twitch. I've cut it down and I've edited it. And I will try to upload that while I'm on my stream hiatus. I will go to the con. Let me know what you want to see at the con. If there's anything you want me to record, put it in the comments below. Or tell me on Disters. The sisters aren't celibate. Yes, we know the sisters aren't celibate. We love that the sisters aren't celibate. And yeah. Okay? I think I'm just gonna like show the exhibits and like look at some merch and stuff. So yeah. The Black Templars are also the chapter that consistently gets along and works with the Sisters of Battle. They love their sisters. Sister. Well, yeah. I'm gonna watch. Yeah. Okay. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Also, have a serval skull flying by you and streaming everything. I don't know about all of that. I'm just gonna hold my phone. Hi, Professor Sha. But yeah, we might have an off collab with Riri depending on if we have time and what we want to do. So that could be cute. But other than that, I'll see you next week. Like always, drop your suggestions for what creators, what channels, what topics you want me to react to next. Thank you, Sierra, for being a proud champion for the Black Templars and always bringing them up no matter what. Again, we have some recommendations already, but there will be more, and I'm still going. Krakduk said paint your minis, and I still got a prime mine, so you know what? We'll get there. We will get there. Have a great week, everybody. Have a great time. Who am I gonna raid? I got one who's not primed yet. Get him primed, guys. Get him primed. It's prime time. Hi, Nyaho. Category. Warhammer. Let's raid Lurky. You know what? Love Lurky. I think she's lurking. think she's lurking. This is a Ray Mess. This is a second Ray Mess on Twitch. Thank you so much, Twitch. I will see you next time, everybody. Bye, 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 bye. Oh my gosh, what's that? A code for Zephyr Arcade? If you're in the US and you want some Warhammer minis, you want your own codex, because F the codex, you can use my code ssakanasushi for 10% off! Whoa! Welcome to Fishy's Plumpy Crunchy Odious Ultra Drop Pooperple Pooperburl Sweet King Doppio Blood Raven Fabian. Thank you for the sub, Blood Raven Fabian and Purple. And thanks for the biddies a team. Bye everybody. Bye 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 bye.